niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all's the hater and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I had me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it.
Realest podcast ever. I ain't even gonna waste no time. It's show week, bitches.
Absolutely. How do you feel about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. We started off to a roaring start. VIP sold out. Reserve seating sold out. General admission.
Blue. There you go.
Spooky on the GAs. You know what I'm saying? We've had some good ticket movement the last week or so. Shout out to everybody that, picked up your tickets. It's though. It's not a bad seat in the house. I don't know why everybody's so like, people aren't even asking me, hey, what's included in the VIP? They're not even asking. I need VIP. Where are the VIPs that I need them?
I'm gonna keep it above with you. The next show, if we do another show,
it's all VIP.
It's not trying to be funny. We're gonna do it at the link. And we're gonna do 67,000 VIP tickets and sell that shit out no matter. Absolutely, because everyone wants to be VIP.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
I've had people go as far as offer me more money than what the VIPs cost, and be like, "Can I get them in a couple weeks though?" And it'd be like, just get the GAs. You understand?
Yeah, get the GAs now. You can get mad GAs.
You can get
now.
mad. You can get a whole row of GAs
right now.
Right now. It's like flying on a economy. Like you can get the whole row.
Yeah.
So essentially first class. You lift the armrest up. You by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if you know. It's all in the same building. It's all one place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get y'all tickets, man. TRPE6.eventbrite.com. We are down to the wire with this thing. I think we are, 5 days away now, Dan? 5 days? 5 days. Yeah, 5 days away now. 5.
320 tickets going. We got another 120 in the tuck.
Yeah, something to that effect, man. Shout out to everybody that bought your tickets already. We love you. We appreciate you.
Shout out to people buying multiple tickets on some, like, giving them and bringing extra people and putting people on. Like, shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to Kev, Anwar, Dunbar. Shout out to Marv.
Yes.
Jules, you know what I'm saying? Like,
make sure y'all come, looking good, looking spectacular. It's going to be some successful in the city folks in the building. You know what I'm saying? We've invited some people from the media. We don't know if they're showing up or not. We invited them.
I'm gonna look good from head to ankle. You know what I'm saying? I've already told myself.
Yeah, Matt's searching for shoes. I told him, with a Z at the end. So we're gonna see how that turns out.
Shoes.
We'll see how that turns out. Find out on Sunday. We caught a break. Do y'all know why we caught a break with this show? Eagles game is Saturday instead of Sunday. We would have been fucked.
Well, not really. People, we got some Eagles fans, but for the most part.
Yeah. Well, the women would have been in the building.
Yeah, these bitches, it's some EAGLESS assholes running around.
Linebackers.
Yeah.
So shout out to the NFL for scheduling the Eagles on Saturday against the Giants. So if you're in Philly this weekend, the move is Eagles game Saturday, TRPE Sunday.
How do you feel about the NFL hijacking Martin Luther King night?
That's wild.
That was kind of wild.
I'm like, yo, when do the Cowboys and the Buccaneers play? I'm looking on like Saturday. I'm seeing all these games going off. Like Monday. I'm like, Monday? Yeah. We playing the playoffs on a Monday? Yeah. I don't understand it. You know what I mean?
Arguably the racist team on Martin Luther King. Yeah.
Brett Maher's over-under yesterday was 9.5 points. If you would have bet him to have under 1.5 points, that joint was paying like 14-1.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It made you a quick 15, 16 grand off a stack. Crazy.
Yeah, it was an interesting game last night.
No field goals and missed every extra point.
Every single
point. Crazy as shit.
He stinks. I'm surprised he got the ride back on the team bus.
I think what it is the fact that they were blowing him out and the Bucs couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
So it was like, we're gonna win this game.
We don't need
far away. So it's like whatever, but it's like, do you imagine that shit would have came down to like a field goal?
Oh yeah, you get jumped. You can jump. It's playoff win bonuses on the line. It's legacy on the line. Cowboys, don't really win in the playoffs. It's like all types of shit attached to that. You can't be the idiot kicker that ruins that.
Yeah.
Places out.
Yeah.
The gifs and the memes were just absolutely. Somebody found a video from like a Tubi. What was the movie that Russell Simmons and them had back in the day? With Sheila E. and all of them. Crush Groove. Somebody found like a Tubi Crush Groove, and it was like a breakdance competition. Nigga was like, "Are you afraid to kick that shit?" He's like, "I ain't gonna hold you, man. They good. I am afraid to kick that shit." I said, "Where the fuck are y'all finding these clips?"
Ridiculous, man.
I think it was Diddy the other day was like, "I ain't gonna hold you. I want to be in the Tubi movie." Somebody was like, "You probably are." Just look around.
Walk past to the scene and shit. All these people there fucking.
Somebody had a joke the other day with a chick getting shot in the Tubi movie. Did you see that?
She with the knife. The nigga got the bullet. He running from her. He let off 2 shots. She went, boom.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, you possessed.
Them Tubi movies is funny as shit.
Yeah. I see the one joint, right? The boy come save his girl from being kidnapped, and no bullets came out the gun. Like pow pow.
Pew pew.
But we're gonna have a good show Sunday.
We're gonna have a great show. Shout out to all our sponsors:
Shout out to
14th and
everybody.
Market, Hennessy, Polished Essence, DTLR. I think One Fam Radio, Sandbox,
Lane's Carpet Cleaning.
Cleaning.
Dre said he booked out.
Damn.
Yeah. So he booked out for like the foreseeable future and shit. You know
Let's
what I'm
get it.
saying?
The power of TRPE, I think. I think we had something to do with it.
I think. You know what I'm saying?
L&W Interior Concepts, SLX Studio. We got giveaways from SLX Studio. Reef, where are you at? I need the bag. Laura's Playground. We giving away a bag allegedly. If not, hit up Reef. Spam his comments.
Dre said, yeah, man, my shit booked out, man. I'm like, well, here's the thing. Niggas' carpets is filthy. So it's a match made in heaven. You know what I'm saying? The carpets
You're
is
like,
filthy.
damn, now that y'all mention it,
I should clean this shit
I ain't
up.
cleaned these carpets in 14 summers.
Oh yeah, and I have some Pure Fuel Hydro Energy
What is that?
from Doobie. It's a plant-based energy drink.
Okay.
Nice, man. Shout out to Doobie. Doobie's like, Doobie's one of those like silent but deadly forces in the Philadelphia market at large, whose hand reaches out very far. He's an advocate for TRP, trying to help us land some really big interviews, man.
If
Shout
the
out,
answer
brother.
yes or no, he don't care. He still's gonna try to make it happen.
Yeah. Because the biggest problem, me and Dan talk about this all the time. The biggest problem that we have with people that can be advocates for us to get shit done is most of them are just scared to ask.
Yeah, they're just
Like
petrified. They don't want to lose their spot.
They do not. They like, man, I got it's 4 spots on the helicopter. I'm not losing my spot, nigga. I'm not losing my spot. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, a nigga from Boston be in my spot. Like, well, I'm gonna tell my bitches then once I get demoted. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, do be somebody that is well respected. He's got his hands in a lot of different pots. He's been, he worked in the sports field as an agent years and years ago. Partners with, I don't know, we want to say who, but he got his hands in a lot of different stuff. Like he's the man. You know what I'm saying? And he's somebody that's not afraid to go to the biggest of people that he know and be like, need a favor.
Yeah.
Do my God's show. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Doobie, man. I want to start out hot today. The hottest topic.
You want to discuss nothing for the?
The
What is the hottest topic?
hottest topic right now on the nigger net at large. Lori Harvey back at it again. I don't know what.
I must have missed this.
Hit them all.
I want to just hit all of these. I don't know what button to hit.
What happened with her?
Lori Harvey is now dating Damson Idris from Snowfall.
From Snowfall.
Yes.
Okay, I did see a picture. I didn't know they was dating.
Yeah, they are dating. They are Instagram official, which is like how you knight people in the black community. You go on the gram.
If
with
it
them.
come on the gram.
If it come on the gram, it's like, come on now.
Yo, I said it the other day. And I'm in a situation where I'm gonna be married soon, and I'm like, damn, I don't know if I like Lee that much because I actually post her, not an emoji, because that nowadays is the way to show that you're in a serious relationship.
Yeah, locked in.
Locked in is to post a picture with a big ass emoji over the person, and it's like, I'm here to tell you, we don't care.
Yeah, it's not that deep.
We do not care.
Just post that woman's husband and go.
Post that married gentleman and just go ahead and bounce your BI. You, in fact, are bringing more attention.
Yeah, because now people are playing Inspector Gadget instead of just tapping past the picture in your story.
Because why is it a big-ass white man with a big-ass mustache emoji over his face?
Look at that tattoo, scars. Yeah, the boy got stabbed in the hand. Right.
It just makes no sense. But that is the way to night people nowadays.
Yes, so their
Post them on
Instagram
the gram.
official, Lori Harvey, Damson Idris, and the internet went absolutely ape shit because apparently her ex, Michael B. Jordan, and her next, Damson Idris, are buds. They've been in a bunch of pictures, not one or two pictures, a bunch of pictures together, hanging out, just some black young brothers kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Talking about acting and having sex with white women, probably. I don't know, I wasn't there. But it's like, hey, man, every about 6 months or so, we have one of these where it's like, it's time to talk about Lori Harvey again. And last time we talked about it, and the time before we talked about it, I told y'all what it is. She's a man-eater. She is the female future, which is why they ultimately, I think, will find their way back to one another at some point because they are the same fucking person.
I'm gonna be honest with
yin
you.
and yang
And
version of
this might be a wild take. I don't see a problem with anything Lori Harvey do.
I knew you were going to pander today.
I don't think it's right.
You are pandering. I came ready for your pandering.
Okay, so let me ask this: should she not date?
No, it's not that she shouldn't date. And here's the thing. She can do whatever she wants. Any woman can do whatever they want. However, the perception of what she's doing is that essentially she's sport fucking. And there is no sustainable way for any woman to sport fuck for an extended amount of time without there being, one, a public backlash, two, some sort of mental toll that is taken on you as a result of all of these different things, and then three, people's opinions being placed upon you and your situations to try to surmise what is going on because the thought process is that normal women don't behave in this manner. And with that in mind, it becomes a situation where it's like we try to like do mental gymnastics and move the goalposts for certain situations where it's like, oh, if it was me, I would do the same thing. And it's like, I'm here to tell you as a soon-to-be 40-year-old man that's like been through the rigmarole of dating, relationships, being a hoe, being a cheater, being cheated on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's dysfunctional when men do it also. So just because she takes the time to call these niggas her boyfriend for 38 days doesn't change the fact of what's going on here.
I think. Okay, so your stance is that it's trifling if anybody does it.
Whoever.
Okay. I think my stance is more so I don't care, but I will say that if Lori Harvey DMs me, I'm gonna see what that be about.
For sure.
So that's the reality. It's like there are a gazillion Lori Harveys, just like it's a gazillion Futures. It's Futures with no hits.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's Futures with no platinum albums. So I just look at it where it's like, whatever. I just think think about sport fucking. You know, like Tinder and Google, not Google. What's the other one?
Bumble.
Bumble, Tinder.
Bumble probably less than Tinder because it's an app where it's women-centric. So Bumble is basically designed, and what was genius in it is the women have to make the connections. So there's a study that's out there that basically says on Tinder, women only swipe right for like 4.5% of the time. So in general, most women find most men detestable. Mm-hmm. Even if they are themselves an average or below average women, they still find men detestable on the whole. And most women are mentally trained to only see the top 10 to 30% of men. Mm-hmm. And that is like their standard, which is, and the problem with that dichotomy is that when men that are 8s, 9s, and 10s sleep with women that are 4s, 5s, and 6s, it tricks them into believing that they deserve a man that's an 8, 9, or a 10, or that's their mark. When in reality, men will fuck anybody. Mm-hmm. Because men don't necessarily always have that sort of, that pronunciation of, you're handsome, you're whatever from a young age. Yeah, that women do, where it's like a beautiful woman is told she's beautiful, even if she's not, from the time she's 1 year old. A man ain't told, "Oh, you're beautiful," and this most times. So we don't necessarily have it programmed in ourselves we should be dating on our level or dating or fucking with some sort of standard. We just fuck everybody and just figure it out later.
So let me ask you this. Let's look at somebody like a Future, right? Who do you think gets more of a bad thing put on them society-wise, Future or Drake?
Future.
Right. Who do you think is actually way worse?
Drake.
You see what I'm saying?
But
so
Drake gets it on a whole, they give him other shit.
Meaning?
Like they try to say like, oh, he's grooming women. Why is he texting Millie Bobby Brown? She's 17. Why does she have his phone number? And he likes young women. Like they've tried to put the R. Kelly shit on him.
Okay. I look at it like this. I haven't seen Lori do anything that to me where I was just like, the fuck is she doing? I just like,
so the father and son, that didn't rock you at all.
That's wild. but you remember you had the famous tweet. Bitches back in the day used to cry. Now they just fuck your dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I just think it's I don't think she's on an island.
No.
The way people try to portray.
No.
That's more so what I'm saying.
No, she's not on an island.
It's a lot of people on that shit is Tulum.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people down there.
No, it's a ton of people on the island. But I've seen this movie play out so many times that I know how it ends. We just saw Brittany Renner in real time go from unknown woman, popular Instagram fitness model, fucking everybody with a pulse that's successful. Married niggas with girlfriends, single niggas, whatever. Colin Kaepernick, Lil Uzi, Future, this nigga, that nigga, da-da-da-da-da. Can have a baby by PJ, wearing matching PJs on Christmas. Leave him for PJ Washington from the Hornets.
Yo, I swear to God, I thought about PJ Carter. Listen, about this.
That's a wild life. But PJ Carter, here's the thing.
He got a shot.
He got a shot.
He got a shot.
PJ got a shot. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why I thought that's all the PJ Carlissa.
It's because AB is the can man. There's some can womans out here. Anybody can get it. African, Jamaican, Mexican, American.
The can man. I remember that stupid shit.
Father, son, brother, cousin, best buds. Anybody can get it.
The can man. That's real.
There's some women that's indiscriminate with that thing, and they pointing it like a Uzi. Everybody can get hit.
Yeah.
So we've seen Brittany Renner go from unknown, established fitness model, getting slutting herself, not even her getting slut out, slutting herself out by the industry, being in love in a loving couple, leaving him for cheating and being a participant in the same perverse behavior that he just saved her from, leaving him for that, going back to the streets, airing everybody out. Telling women it's cool to fuck whoever you want, da-da-da-da-da. Now she's online saying, oh, I regret being promiscuous and it was a mistake and I shouldn't have told women to do that because now I'm toxic and untouchable and no man of value will date me. And it's like, yeah, that's the prize that you get for sport fucking on an elongated period in a public eye. Because like you said, Lori's not on that island by herself, but she has become an unofficial mascot for what one nigga won't do, another nigga will.
Yeah, I'm not only the client, I'm the president.
Exactly. And it's that John where it's like, all right, well, who's to say? Because the slogan that women are running with is, if one man don't suit you, find another man. The problem with that is we are inherently assuming by making that statement that the men are the problem. If everybody else is in every other aspect of life, if everybody else is the problem, is allegedly saying that you're the problem, you're the problem.
Right.
So how is it that every single man she dates, no matter how successful, how rich, how handsome, how accomplished, they're all being made to be the problem when she moves on from them, because women are not viewing this with an earnest and honest lens of she is sport fucking and that's what this is. She is Ash Ketchum, and she is catching all the pokey niggas.
But what if that's just people are putting... Has she ever come out and said that?
Come out and said what?
I'm sport fucking.
No, but I have eyes.
No, but I'm just saying the way like the media will put whatever they want to put, like how we just said the whole Drake and Future issue. So it's like people will kind of just put whatever connotation they want to put on whatever the fuck you doing. When in reality, it's like I know me when I was younger, I dealt with a bunch of people at the same time.
There's therapists that will tell you that there's one, something wrong with being a serial monogamous, and then two, there's also something wrong with batch dating also, depending upon who the therapist is that you go
I don't necessarily
through.
think it was the healthiest thing, but you know, I also was
Yeah.
I was at Old Country Buffet 4 times a week. So it's like
Yeah, you're participating in multiple unhealthy
they call it gluttony.
It's gluttony. Beautiful. Yeah. You're participating in.
Give me some hand claps. It's rare I get the word of the
Yeah,
week.
no, you nailed it. No, you nailed that. You did that. When you're participating in lifestyle gluttony, societal gluttony, dating gluttony, whatever, any like a 2-bit therapist could diagnose you in 4 minutes. Like, oh yeah, you're masking some sort of insecurity. You're dealing with something that you're running from. You're trying to find fulfillment or joy in 5 women because you don't have it in yourself. That's an easy one. Like, I'm not even a therapist, and I can like diagnose a motherfucker because I was that person. And it's just like, as someone that objectively can just look at this for what it is and see these same women, it's because it's the same women that prop up Lori Harvey, admonish Future and Drake for being whoremongers. It's like, wait a minute, like, what's the standard here? Is it okay? Because in reality, y'all all whores and y'all would do the same thing if given the opportunity. And y'all are just choosing not to because of societal norms, et cetera, or is it that you actually don't believe in this and you're just participating in groupthink and just wanting to be a part of the way the water is moving on this particular topic and just letting this woman just do whatever and y'all just like, fuck it.
I can understand the argument. I truly can.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I truly understand what you're saying. I think it's just, how old is she?
Like 26 or something like that.
Yeah, I just think she's getting it in out there.
Yeah, she was engaged to Lewis Hamilton at I think that was who it was. It was Lewis Hamilton, the race car
driver.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's how we discovered her. Steve Harvey's we thought she was his real daughter. It turned out stepdaughter, whatever. Took his last name, he raised her, blah, blah, blah. She was dating and engaged to Lewis Hamilton. And since then, it's been this constant barrage of all this public. That's the only part that I disagree with inherently, is the public nature of it. Like, you gotta go public with every nigga because you're trying to create this distinction. And this is me diagnosing the situation. I could be wrong. Feel free to slander me. You're trying to create the public distinction that, oh, no, I'm not a hoe because these are all my boyfriends. And it's like, 2 things can be true. You can be a hoe and these are still your boyfriends. Because if you had 14 boyfriends in a row, that's dysfunctional behavior. And that's the whole thing that I'm trying to get to, is the root of the issue, which is the dysfunction around it. And it's dysfunctional if a man or a woman does it in such a pronounced, very public, hey, look at what I'm doing type of manner.
But I'll be honest, it's like the norm now from a lot of these.
Yes.
People. You know how people you follow?
Y'all are all fried.
Okay. But you know how people you follow, you be like, damn, she with him now? Or
Yeah.
damn, that's
Yes,
like,
I've seen Lori Harvey's on a micro level and on a macro level. Absolutely.
So I more so look at it where it's like, okay, you date Lewis Hamilton, then you date Future, then you date Elvis. I mean, not Elvis. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan.
Before that, it was Trey Songz and Justin Combs and Sean Combs.
Who's Sean Combs? Puff.
Puff.
Oh yeah, the father.
His father's son.
You date Puff. You date Justin Combs. Were these at the same time?
No, but they were right up against each other. It's serial monogamy.
Yeah.
And there's crossover because most, if not all of these men have some sort of personal or professional relationship with one another. I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
I just look at rap niggas and bald niggas, and they fuck with the same 9 bitches.
They are weirdos too.
Okay, so it's everyone then.
Everyone's
your stance is everyone's.
Everyone's a weirdo.
Okay.
Because I'll be fucking other 8 million bitches.
You see what I'm saying? Like if I work this hard to become, say, like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is his, you know who his girlfriend is? His same girlfriend from Canada.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like because that's my girlfriend. If I go and I fuck Ari Fletcher, she ain't my girlfriend. She's G Herbo's baby mom first. She Moneybag Yo girl second. Whoever she dated in between, she allegedly had a romp with Meek, whatever. She's not my girlfriend. My girlfriend is my girlfriend that hasn't been imprinted by all these other successful niggas or whatever, to where now she feels like I can only date a man of a certain stature. That's not my girl.
And if I'm that rich, it's a billion bad bitches.
Yes. You can have the pick of the litter.
Yeah. Look at Drake. Random DMs.
Yeah, the Dubai princes and the Saudi princes and all of that, they're not saying, hey, Instagram model, come be my girlfriend. They're saying, hey, Instagram model, come eat my shit, because you have been ran through by a bunch of nothing-ass niggas for the last 5 years. Take this 50 grand and I'm going to have a shower party on you.
And pet my tiger.
So what do you want to see exactly?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do a podcast. Yeah. I don't have solutions. I just got theories.
I don't know.
I can't see this shit through. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
There's no
I can't
answer.
see this shit through. It's funny.
No answer.
I think I just look at it where I don't think she's doing anything that odd. I really don't. Like I've seen crazier shit.
Oh yeah, no. As a follow-up, I have some more crazier shit to go along with this.
Like you just mentioned Brittany Renner. I've seen her, like, at least Lori Harvey isn't like out like, what the fuck, get that pussy up, girl. Like it ain't, to me, it's not that. Where I see that from other women in the industry and around the world.
And what do they all do at the end of it? This was wrong. I shouldn't have said this. This was a bad message. I don't believe in this anymore.
But the thing for me, I don't know. Maybe I'm viewing it wrong. I don't know. But I just look at it where it's like, you once you got a public eye on you too, I think things change. Because think about how many people you've dated or dealt with that people don't know about.
Did you know who Jay-Z was dating before he locked in with Beyonce?
Somebody's bitch. I don't know.
You didn't know. If he
Cantrell.
Rumored. And keep in mind, paparazzi wasn't as pronounced then as it is now, but there was paparazzi. So what I'm saying is, if you're in a public eye, there's a way to, like, Kanye just got married allegedly, and we didn't even know. Like, he just popped up married. So it's like,
but I think he was coming off of an upper. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, there's a way to do whatever you're doing, even at the highest level, because she's a socialite. She ain't Oprah. There's a way to do whatever you're doing in a manner where it's like nobody knows, and you could just fly under the radar and nobody knows what the fuck you're doing.
So who posted the pictures of her?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
They posted them.
Well, I mean, they together, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I view it as like you dating and moving around. And where we at now, it's not like back in the day where it was like, we was having this conversation the other day. You know how like the whole being a kept woman, like what it is people will try to take little bits and pieces from the old school way and try to incorporate it with
it's like they're trying to be hybrid. They're trying to be modern when it suits them and traditional when it suits them.
And that to me, you can't do that.
You either in or you out.
Right. So like a lot of women, I had to think like, oh, a man should pay everything. And yeah, well, you look at that was tradition. Like, but at the same token, it's like, yo, if you get married, tradition is the father of the bride pays for the wedding. Yeah. Y'all throw that out.
Y'all don't have any dads.
You see what I'm saying?
so that economy is just out the window.
You look at Gabrielle Union. She was like, I felt like in the relationship I was in, I paid all the bills.
I had a bomb.
I paid all the bills, so I feel like...
Where have we heard that rhetoric before?
Right.
And motherfuckers got flamed at the bar
this
before.
Is what I'm saying, where it's like people will compare that to like, you'll hear people say, oh, well, the men, old school men back in the day paid everything, and it'd be like, well, yeah, they did, but at the same time, they had another family down the street and nobody bothered them. Mm-hmm. So they was allowed to run amok. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, Big Mama, she got all the bills paid and all that, but Big Mama was in the house. Big Mama never went to All-Star Weekend.
Right. Yeah, Big Mama was not in Tulum.
You can imagine Big Mama with a moo-moo on at All-Star Weekend?
At Pablo's Mansion in Tulum?
It don't work like that. I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that you got people running around like Lori Harvey's the GOAT whenever she does something.
That's what I'm getting to. is the example that she's being made to be a mascot for something that she's not asking to be.
Like, if you want to be technical, I keep it a buck. Her mom was dealing with a drug dealer nigga who went down, was dealing with his brother afterwards who also went down, and then locked in with Steve Harvey and got him to claim her kids.
Yes.
Lori Harvey, mom might be the GOAT.
Yes.
I don't know about
Y'all
Lori.
looking at the wrong idol.
Y'all got the wrong GOAT.
Because her nigga's worth 160 million.
You see what I'm saying? So, me personally, though, I just don't look at anything she's doing as like, come on, man, like some Chris Berman or Ed Lover, come on, son. Shit.
It's not even so much her. It's the supporters. It's just the kind of same way like the Tupac fans won't leave me and Clint alone. It's the same sort of thing. It's like it's the support. It's the supporters of it because it's just like, well, what do you do in your day to day? Like, oh, I wouldn't do it. It's like. It goes back to that meme that we discussed, that video, not meme, but it was like a video, that street interview where the guy is like, the good women are standing too close to the hoes and co-signing shit that y'all don't even believe in just for the sake of girl power and womanhood and support. And it's just like, but then y'all look at men when men do the same shit and be like, how dare you? You know this is wrong. And it's just like, y'all do the same retarded bullshit. Like, we're all fucked up.
Yeah, everybody needs
societally,
therapy.
We're all fucked up. I said this probably about a year and a half ago on Twitter. My advice to everyone, get therapy. You need it.
Dating at this juncture just seems extremely tiring. And so you got people that are like, I just want to have my fun. You got people that are like, I'm looking for somebody, but it's like you're looking for somebody on Tinder. You're not getting a relationship out of these Jones 9 times out of 10. You know, I always said this, and I'm a firm believer in this. You can't force love. You can't force a relationship.
Absolutely not.
That shit has to like come. It just has to. It happens. But it's not some shit you like. You ever see like speed dating things? You can't possibly go on a speed dating thing thinking I'm about to get anything out of this.
It's a disaster.
This is a disaster looming. You know what I mean? And you think about where you at now, where you got the Tinder swindler and all these different things and all this shit that go on. It's like, what do you expect?
Yeah, it's almost like we want to create some form of like blanketed laws for like society, dating, relationships, and this and this and this. And you can literally go from not even like country to country, sometimes state to state, and the rules of engagement are different.
Right.
Based upon the type of people that you're dealing with, stuff like that. If it's more working class, like the shit that goes on in Hollywood, I would imagine doesn't go on in like Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like dating and like the circle of influence and stuff like this. Let me ask you this, and I'll pose it to you, Dan, also. What do you say to the people who say statistically what she's doing is an anomaly because there's roughly 4 women to every 1 man globally, whatever the case may be? How is it that she can manage to amass all of these 1% men and encapsulate in dating, relationships, sex, whatever, in such a short amount of time when the statistics say it's almost impossible to do so?
I think that goes to like where you at. Like at the end of the day, she is Steve Harvey's daughter. Mm-hmm. So by proxy, your dad is one of the most successful black men of his generation. So by proxy, you in cons sitting next to Puff. Yeah. You're not on the 48. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna meet, Tattoo on the 48. It's just not, shout out Tat. Like it's just not, you know what I'm saying? So by proxy, your dad is Steve Harvey. You dated how much is Lewis Hamilton worth? 600?
Yeah.
You're dating almost a billionaire race car driver. Then you dating Future. You've kind of already set the line of demarcation, if you will, to where it's like, yo, you're only in that type of environment.
Devil's advocate, though, if your father is one of the most successful black men of all time, you created your own economy for yourself with beauty products and this, and this, and being a socialite. Why you can't just find a nigga you like and just lock in? Why does
I think that's what she do, though.
Why does he have to be? Obviously not, because nobody's good enough. Nobody lasts.
She said that?
Michael B proposed. They turned him into a meme.
I mean, but so if Michael B proposes, you have to marry him?
Where do you go from there?
But I'm just saying in the terms of if you happy or not. Like, I know plenty of people who proposed and got rejected, or they got married and
If
divorced.
let me tell you this. If whoever out there, my girl now, if we break up, I give somebody, if I propose to you and you don't accept the proposal, it's over. Like,
Right. But that happens. I don't think that's an anomaly. I think that happens a lot. My biggest thing is I don't think none of this shit is like abnormal to where it's like it's a one and done or this is some standalone shit. I think all of these things are normal occurrences. I know plenty of people who date multiple people in a row, and then they like somebody.
And again, back to my original point, they need therapy also.
So if you date somebody and it don't work out, do you just stop?
At what point? Okay, let me.
I'm more so trying to figure out how does it end on a positive?
How it ends on a positive is at some point, if you're just dating, and you're lily padding, you're leapfrogging from one relationship to the next. At what point do you do any personal reflection and really look at yourself and say, well, damn, why did this last relationship not work? Am I the problem? What am I doing?
Were we
here?
doing personal reflection at 26 though? I know I wasn't doing that type of shit.
I think the age shit is a cop out. Like
I think you gotta live life.
You got 13-year-olds that are multimillionaires because they figured out how to fucking work the internet and TikTok and YouTube and shit like that.
But I don't think 13-year-olds understand. That's the reason the age of consent is still 18.
But 26 ain't 13 though. So if we saying a 26-year-old
40.
That's a cop out. I think that's a cop out.
I don't think it's a cop out. I think
A
it's
26-year-old in 2023 is far more developed than a 26-year-old was in 1970, and they had houses, they had families, they was married already, they had kids they were responsible for, and everything else.
But,
so you telling me that these people now in 2023 with access to more money, more information, the internet, fucking the global economy, air travel, all of this shit are not smart, are not more smarter and more sophisticated than somebody was in 1975?
Can I ask a question? Did Lori Harvey leave all of these people? Because Future said I didn't want her.
Well, that's one. Everybody, they
The only other one I noticed that was on some, like, at least the way the media played it was the Michael B. Jordan joint. But was Michael B. Jordan really butthurt, or was that just like memes and jokes?
we don't know.
Right. So I look at it where it's like, yo, if Future leave you and he's back to his Future shit, should I not date? The only one that I think at least your theory to where it's like, this is like, all right, is the Puff and his son John.
Yeah, and now she's doing damage control on that, trying to say that didn't happen. I'm like, so wait, so you mean to tell me when the whole incident unfolded with you in the car with Trey Songz, when you came to the party with Justin Combs, and it turned into this whole, and the paparazzi caught you because you tried to duck in the car and all of that, like, and the shoulda duck shit went viral and all of that shit. So you're telling me that there was nothing going on with you and Justin Combs, is what you're telling me. But that we just picked this shit out of thin air. He selected you out of all women on the whole fucking internet because he's an heir of a billionaire. He selected you out of all women everywhere to make it seem like y'all dealt with each other and y'all didn't. And it's like, it's the disingenuous shit like that that's just like, what are we doing here?
But then I turn around and look at just Philadelphia, like not even a national or international scale, just Philadelphia, and how much of these people business be out in the streets, and it'd be like, this is like, I'm not trying to be funny, it's like the norm.
But if you want to lie to us, you could just say nothing. Because your normal, Lori Harvey, your normal mode of operation is to say nothing. Because now you're telling us that something didn't happen that we saw happen. So it's like, the same way Megan told us that she didn't fuck Tory, it's the same energy. And it's just like, wait a minute. Like, you mean to tell me that a nigga that you're not involved with shot you?
Like, I hate to bring it up because he's such a good guy and we root for him and shit, but like LeBron has the image of this clean-cut, perfect, everything from the beginning, him and Savannah, this and the third. But then when we heard Popeyes, Pusha T, remember?
Yeah.
You like that, Bron? Everybody's like, wait, what? Then you heard a Yes Jules shit, and it's just like, shit, all right, it makes kind of sense now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think at the end of the day, throwing stones in a glass house is just not what you're supposed to do. And I think it's a lot more Lori Harveys and Futures than we like to accept as society.
Oh, absolutely, there's a lot more.
And people will literally try to hang these two. I don't know why it's them two. I don't know why.
Because they're the same person.
No, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like what's the word I'm looking for?
Like the spokesperson?
Yeah, like a spokesperson.
They've both made themselves mascots for toxic behavior.
But we've seen way more toxic behaviors from way
Oh,
more
Amber
women.
Rose is up there.
Way more.
And I
think about
Amber,
this. Think about not trying to be funny. Outside of Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points and having a 50 rebound season, what do you think of when you think of
Yeah,
Wilt
had sex with 25,000
He had sex with 25,000 women. Nobody ever be like, Wilt needed therapy. They'd be like, Wilt was the GOAT. So it's like, I just look at it where it's like, I don't, at least me, I'm not like, damn, she with him. What the fuck is she? I don't have that ever. Because I know a lot of motherfuckers who date and I don't even look at it on some like, she fucked 25,000 niggas. What the fuck? I don't.
all right, so let's say in 3 months from now, for whatever reason, you and Lee break up, the divorce go, the marriage go left, whatever, some shit happened, da. You look up and she's in a relationship with Jules. It's not gonna be strange to you.
Like Julian?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that'd be nuts. That would be strange. But at the same
So
time,
if I'm Michael B. Jordan and me and Damson Idris, we flying all over, we fucking having sex with white women together and this and this and this, and then you pop up with my ex that I allegedly proposed to, and her media team said that I was heartbroken and this and this and this and all this crazy shit. Am I not supposed to look at this and be like, man, what the fuck?
yeah, but I think things are different in the Illuminati. So that's my biggest point. When you're in that,
So if it's different, then we can't even compare regular people to it then. Because your main basis of what you were saying is regular people are doing it too. So if it's different in the Illuminati, then we gotta throw regular people completely off the slate.
did you watch Bird vs. Magic on HBO Max yet?
Yes.
It was excellent. It was excellent.
Yeah, I
I got a couple things I'm gonna tell y'all to watch this week that I watched that were really good. But I watched Bird vs. Magic on HBO Max, and they asked Magic Johnson about his transgressions, and Magic was so just like brutally honest on the John. And the funniest part was Magic Johnson. Did you see what he talked about the Playboy Mansion? Mm-hmm. He was like, I had two people. I had Irvin and I had Magic. I fell into the Magic role when I showed up in LA, and Magic was he was a renegade. He was a psychopath, but Magic fueled me to win 5 championships. Right. I don't become Magic. I don't become, Showtime without the Magic Johnson persona. Yeah. And he was like, Irvin was this smile-a-lot kid from Lansing, Michigan. Magic was Showtime. And because I had both of these people within me, once the championships and the champagne started flowing, I leaned on the Magic side. And Dr. Buss was the greatest person for me to be around at that moment because he fueled what Magic Johnson was. Right. So you think about it. You win a game playing for Denver or playing for Chicago or playing for Detroit, you just win the game. But you win the game playing for Dr. Buss in L.A., he's like, I'm going to take you to the Playboy Mansion. And you like, oh, the Playboy Mansion? And he was like, that's the shit I want to be on, and that's the shit I did. So he was like, I go to the Playboy Mansion, and he was like, it's different from what people think. People have this thing of like, oh, it's just sex and mad sex all the time. And he was like, it wasn't that. He's like, you go to the Playboy Mansion and you have dinner. Then you have a wonderful dinner. Then you watch the newest film. That was the big thing. Like, Hugh Hefner show you the newest movie in the big theater. And he was like, it was, I'm going to say it was probably, 7 women to every guy there. It was a lot more women than it was men. And yes, sex did happen, but it wasn't like the thing. Now you could dip off and go do your thing. And, Lord knows I did. And, I had a lot of fun there. But that wasn't what it was about. And I'm like, Magic is out of this.
Like, what are you talking about, Magic?
That's all it was.
That's all it was about.
Like, it was so ridiculous.
We're doing all this other pop and circumstance to distract from the fact that somebody's getting fucked over here in the corner. Like
Jamie Foxx, his first time at the Playboy Mansion, he said, I kicked the door open. It was like, who fucking? They was like, get out. Who fucking? Like, so I can understand the sentiment, but at the end of the day, I just don't think it's nothing egregious because it's tons of women and men who serial fuck, all of that shit. All of that. You're lying. You're a handsome young brother. I know I've gotten crazy ass DMs and shit said to me. So I know you've gotten the shit.
Not recently.
No?
No.
You gotta log in.
Not recently.
Have you been on there?
I've been on. I've been on, man. I don't know. I think my girl too pretty or something. Bitches just left me alone. Like, I don't know what it is. They're like, oh, yeah, nah, fuck it. Yeah, I don't really get no crazy DMs no more. I used to fall into some crazy shit. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here because I'm saying I've examined myself. I've done the personal development. I've looked inward. I've done the introspection. And I realized that even a lot of what I was doing and participating in was rooted in fucking mental health issues and insecurity.
I don't know how true this shit is. I've heard crazier shit about Megan Good than I've heard about Lori
crazy
Harvey.
shit about Megan.
So, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard the shit. So it's like at the end of the day, I don't think Lori that bad. That's just me.
These next two stories that I'm going to hit you with, two quick little blurbs,
Okay.
are the after effects of the Amber Rose, Lori Harvey sexual liberationism of our women and daughters. First up, 22-year-old LSU men's football team coordinator Destiny Wilson has a wild orgy with the star wide receiver,
Coach
Keyshawn Boot, and the wide receiver coach and the star player Keyshawn Boot and another player and another coach. Have you heard about all of the goings on with this crazy shit?
I saw it, but I didn't get all too into it.
So apparently this young woman named Destiny Wilson, she I guess went to undergrad at LSU, whatever, got hired on the football team as an on-campus recruiter or whatever the case may be. Good-looking young woman, whatever the case may be. Good-looking young woman.
Hey, Dan, can you fill another head while you over there?
Light-skinned, well put together. She got the goods, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Good-looking chick or whatever the case may be. So during the SEC championship game in Atlanta, the wide receiver coach, who apparently is regarded as like one of the best wide receiver position coaches in the entire college football system, their star wide receiver, Keyshawn Butte, another coach and another player had a 5-on-1 with her in the hotel. And the details of which, because it's a college environment and everybody runs their fucking mouth, leaked out to the team or whatever. The head coach found out about the shit. Now, the player, Keyshawn, ended up getting suspended for the game. Didn't even play in the game because it immediately got out. So got suspended for the game. Originally said that he was going to return for, I guess, his senior year. Changed his mind and said, "Oh no, I'm declaring for the draft," because in actuality he got kicked off the team because of what happened. The girl got fired, the coach got fired, and then there's this whole big fucking internal investigation or whatever going on around this incident and all of this shit. And there's now like being there's like a referendum now online of like, sports commentators, these manosphere pages and blah blah blah, saying like, hey, this is the reason. It's kind of going back to the Patrice O'Neal thing. This is the reason why men and women don't need to work with each other, especially at a young, impressionable age like 22 years old, when she's surrounded by all these alpha males, these hyper-talented young men, and these people that are in position of power. What are your thoughts on this situation?
We're not blaming Lori Harvey for this, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm blaming Amber Rose for this.
Okay. How am I supposed to feel?
I don't know.
Okay.
Women's liberation.
People be having orgies, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Remember old school? I'm here for the gangbang?
Yeah. I'm here for the game. The strangest part about it with me was that, like, the sportscaster that broke the story is close to the university, whatever. He was just saying, like, this is like the thing where, like, these young upstart coaches like the Sean McVays of the world and stuff like that get too close to their players to where it's like they're taking team bonding to like the next level where it's like, oh damn, you about to hit something? Oh man, I get me a piece. Yeah. And it's just like that part of it was crazy to me where it's like two people in a leadership position couldn't even recognize, like, even if we fucking turn a blind eye to the gangbang, we should at the bare minimum not be participating in it. And nobody has any fucking discipline or discernment.
The wrong, I guess, in this situation is the coaches.
Absolutely.
Y'all are put in a position to be leaders and to be fucking, guidance figures for these young men. Y'all are completely out of pocket. Completely. 100%. the player football. These niggas got CTE. You know what I'm saying? Like
from 8.
That's just it. They got CTE. Again, though, I think we at times, especially, my biggest issue is us in this position, because there are thousands of people that listen to us.
Yes.
Just us in particular, let alone the rest of the podcast.
And because of that, I try to always be responsible and make sure that I'm giving people the right message. And even if I'm saying some bullshit, give people the disclaimer like, I'm kind of probably on some bullshit with this, but this is just what I'm thinking.
I think that we've reached a point in, again, the throwing stones in a glass house. People are into some crap. I watched Magic Johnson on that Bird vs. Magic straight tell the motherfucker on camera, like, sex with multiple women Magic. He said, yeah, you know, I've had 2, 3. Yeah, one time I had 6. Like, it sound crazy when you can't get 6 bitches in a room. But if you can get 6 bitches in a room, like, perfect example. The shit we always refer to on this joint is what?
Oh, American Pimp.
No, Pimp C.
Oh, yeah.
Why
Family
did
man, yeah.
You niggas think you're doing something? Think
Niggas
you're
doing some fly shit.
Fly shit out here having these motherfucking orgies. Like, it's motherfuckers who heard that and was like, yeah, Pimp talking some real shit. This shit is weird. Y'all niggas is crazy.
It's the other 90%.
And it's niggas who heard it was like, man, Pimp need to shut his motherfucking ass up. That's reality. Because what you into might not be what I'm into and vice versa. I know motherfuckers who got off on that party shit.
Yeah.
Like, way too off on it.
I've told it a million times on here.
I got invited to a situation where it was like, I'm at the nigga crib and it was like, the chick there and it was like, he's just standing. I'm just like, yo, what's up with you? No, go ahead. I'm chilling. Go do your thing. And it's just like, you gotta
play the game.
You gotta get the fuck out of here. And you could tell he was like just into that shit going on. Whereas like it's other motherfuckers that's me was like, man, Pimp gonna be so disappointed in me. Why am I even here?
I think the main thing that I took from this is just like, it's irresponsible on everybody's behalf.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do that, at the bare minimum, don't do it during SEC championship week. Like when you got like a big game coming up and like all this spotlight and all these
Didn't
eyes
Meek
are on
say
y'all.
some shit? He had like a 18-person orgy or so. Am I making that up or?
No, he said something. It might not have been 18, but it was something wild.
It was in the teens.
It was wild.
It was. I think it was either they was on a plane or somewhere.
Yeah, some wild shit.
Some shit he said,
Yeah.
and it's like, look at Nelly tip drill. Do you honestly think when the camera stopped rolling at the tip drill video set, it was like, all right, everybody, thanks for coming out?
The video was around the orgy.
You see what I'm saying? So I just
think that in general, this is a situation where men can learn from. Women also, but men especially. You need to have dick discipline. And you need to know what's a good idea and what's a bad idea. Participating in the orgy on his face, not necessarily a bad idea. SEC championship week, she's a team coordinator. You two niggas is coaches. You the star wide. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, this is just dumb to do because now everybody's life is changed and you've tainted a prestigious program because you were horny. Like, and that in itself to me reads like nobody read the room and was like, nobody was the voice of reason and was like, I should put my dick up.
Yeah.
Nobody said that.
Nobody went AC Green, full AC Green.
Yeah.
They said when they was running around Showtime, they said that Magic and John Sally and them sent a bunch of bitches to the locker room. I mean, to his hotel room.
AC Green cursed them
Then
niggas out.
AC Green called a meeting the next day.
You niggas send them hoes to my room again?
I ain't with that flip-flopping shit. You niggas, like,
See this cross right here, nigga?
yeah.
I believe in this.
Blood of Jesus, nigga, like it's real. So again, it's like not trying to be funny, yo. It's motherfuckers that's into watching their wife get fucked.
Yeah, they call them cuckolds.
Big facts.
Yeah.
I haven't had that one yet. Like, I haven't had a motherfucker approach me like, you doing anything tonight, man? Come over here, hit my wife while I watch. Like, I haven't had that, John. But I know motherfuckers have said that to me. They've been out at the bar. Motherfuckers started talking to them like, yeah, my wife look good, don't she? And be
Yeah,
like,
my man said he was in Cancun.
said the nigga swam over.
Swam over.
Yes.
He said, nigga swam over.
Yo.
He said, "Damn, what's up, Playboy? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Detroit, whatever. You mean you hit mine, I hit yours. What's up?" She with it.
Yeah.
It's like, Hello?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah. Think about swingers clubs and all of that crazy ass shit. True story. It was a sex orgy joint going on right around us. No, I'm saying like that shit. You'd be surprised, man.
It was right in our orbit.
Yeah, get on that Instagram. I'll show you.
Show you the players. Show you the orchestrators.
I'll show you the conductors.
And it ain't who you thought it, who you think it might be.
I'll show you who pulling the strings out this motherfucker. Like, seriously. And these is regular everyday men.
Yeah.
And regular everyday chicks. Chicks who you will go on the gram and be like, oh damn, she seems so nice, and she be posting, shit in the crock pot. Man, listen, it's going down.
I got one more.
And I don't judge. That's the part I'm trying to like show and make you understand. I don't judge regardless, because I know at the end of the day, the people gonna do what they gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know if I judge people on the act as much as like bad decision making. And the fact of like, if you have something to lose, you shouldn't lose it because you horny.
Just do it.
You get what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Like, if
There's always a time to just turn your horny down and just,
yes,
you know what I'm
and be
saying?
like, I'm gonna leave the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's that part, especially if you a coach. If you in a leadership position and that shit kick off, you like, she work for the team. Like, this is just a bad idea. I don't know if I want to have an orgy with nobody I gotta see at work. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's orgies that have happened at work.
I got one for you. Female police officer.
Oh, yeah, I seen it.
Fired for taking part in a massive orgy with 6 male colleagues in Tennessee. Laverne, Tennessee, which I've never heard of before this. So, Laverne, you're on the map. Shout out to y'all. The married police officer got it popping with at least as many of 6 colleagues and even had sex with a few on duty. So, this is the news story that broke from that.
Mm-hmm.
They said she was in an open marriage, but never told the husband.
It's open on my end.
It's open on my end.
Closed on him. I mean, he could have. I would have forgave him, but he didn't know what was going on. So the news story from Hip Hop Wire says blue sex matters. Tennessee cops admit to engaging in wild sex acts, lying to investigators. So in today's episode of So a Bunch of Cops Chose to Copulate, a police station in Tennessee recently became the center of blue-on-blue sex scandal after a married police officer was accused of engaging in sex cop-apades with 6 male officers, some of which he even had sex with while on duty. From the New York Post, Officer Megan Hall and her fellow law officers allegedly engaged in wild sexcapades that included sending dirty pictures, taking her top off at a Girls Gone Wild hot tub party, and even having oral sex with 2 officers at the Laverne, Tennessee police station, WTVF-TV reported. The steamy shenanigans in which Hall allegedly bragged about the size of one partner's genitals and claimed to be in an open marriage not only led to Hall being canned, but led to the firings of Sergeant Lewis Powell, again, leadership position, Officer Juan Lugo, Sergeant Ty McGowan, leadership, and Detective Seneca Shields, according to a December internal investigation. 2 other officers who allegedly had romps with Hall, Patrick Magliocco and Larry Holiday, kept their jobs but wound up suspended, according to the reports. So apparently they didn't get as much pussy as the rest of the officers, so they just got suspended as opposed to fired. When your sexual behavior will lead to you being publicly admonished and fired, disgraced in front of your family, you have a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
You have a problem.
But here we go again. This shit goes on all over.
Yeah, we've just walked through every level of life where you got.
Listen, man, I worked this up for 14 years. Okay, now if I decided to just jot down like some of the shit I seen and came across,
just keep a little log,
little memoir,
little journal,
little memoir,
little journal.
It would blow your mind because I've seen everything. I've seen coworkers fucking. I've seen coworkers orgying with these eyes. Seen it. I've seen management, upper management, all of that shit. It's normal. You know why? Because we're human beings. God put Adam and Eve in that motherfucking garden, and he said, you can do whatever you want. Do not touch that fucking apple. Nigga turned around.
3 minutes later.
Hey, man, I'm telling you.
3 minutes later.
I'm telling you. God created the earth, the sun, the moon, all that shit, and rested on the seventh day, didn't he? And then said that the seventh day is the Sabbath. Was it the Sabbath or whatever?
Yeah, we rested. Rested on the seventh day.
Man, Sunday motherfuckers be out here running amok. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. The 10 Commandments, motherfuckers break them shits every goddamn day. Yeah. You know why? Because nobody is perfect. And I think that's the biggest joint for me, where it's like people will speak from a place of perfectness.
I think there's a far cry from being perfect versus like I lost my job and my family because I was.
That was the day I wasn't perfect.
You were far from perfect on that.
Hey,
day.
Listen.
That Thursday you got a Hummer in the detective's office. You were far from perfect on that day. I think we can agree on that.
You watched The Wire, right? What happened when Hurt walked in season 5? Royce was getting his dick sucked from the aide in City Hall.
Yep.
Was that season 5 or season 4? I think it was 4, season 4.
Yeah.
Getting his dick sucked in City Hall.
By someone who worked for him.
By someone who worked for him. Because this ain't no motherfucking movie. This is real. This shit happens.
I think the biggest takeaway from all of this, kind of to put a bow on this thing and we can move on to some more liberating topics, is that these stories in succession like this validates that we are not as developed of a society as people would make you to believe, and that people succumb to their carnal urges far more.
I'll just be all the way live with you.
Far more frequently than we would like to believe.
My dad and them, they was super in the church. They like going to church and then whatever. They went to a big prominent known church. We ain't gonna name because they don't sponsor the show. And he was like, they was trying to get me to go to church. This was years ago and shit. I'm like, all right, whatever, I come, And I went and like, them bitches was on me when I came to church.
Would Martin say Bible thumpers or Bible humpers?
And I'd be quite frank, man. I got grabbed in that church. You know what I'm saying? Not no hug neither. Like I got grabbed in there,
meat mangled,
and I came back next Sunday. And it had nothing to do with the hymns and none of that shit. I'm like, I'm hoes from like
grabbing meat,
dog. So it's like, and granted, I was young. I wouldn't do that now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm 38. 37, 30, one of them.
One of them ages.
But
I got a close homie who got 2 birth certificates. He don't know how old he is.
Crazy. Like,
Dad was making them Jones.
Yeah. Like,
how would this nigga need to be for us to get some benefits?
And I just look at it where it's wives and husbands and all kinds of crazy ass. That's the one thing. When I was young, I used to think that this shit was like one way. Like, I believed that like Carl Winslow was married to Harriet. And that was it. But then you get older and you realize, like, man, Carl might have been knocking off Rachel. Like, that's just.
We talked about it on the Party Boys episode. It was like, a lot of times people just assume, like, oh, it's the men trying to coerce women and this and this. And sometimes it's women, a good amount of the times, it's women that are, like, leading their men down, like, a life of freakhood.
Freakness. Yeah. Her husband in there, I ain't no freak.
This nigga ironing the clothes for the week, meal prepping, and she just like bringing hoes home.
Yeah. Big facts. Yeah,
Earth is wild.
So I don't judge. I don't point no finger. I don't think you bad. I just think that we are as much as women have become sexually liberated, I think men have become even more sexually liberated too. I could be wrong. But I
gotta think about that.
Like, I don't feel like it stood still. Sort of like how we was talking about the whole Pacquiao-Floyd thing the other day when people was like, oh, he waited to fight Pacquiao till he was old. And Floyd got old too. It's not like time stood still for him.
That was different.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that
like, you know how they love painting this image of like MLK being a womanizer and this and the third. As time went on, we got to the point where the president was getting his dick sucked in there.
Yeah, in the office.
So it's like, I don't think it stood still for men. I think we've gotten way more out there too. I just don't think that it's.
Yeah, I think if you had to judge it, I think men were already at like a 7 and then moved to like an 11, and women were at like a 1 and moved to an 11. Yeah, to a 9. So the movement
has been more.
Was more on women, but we're still basically ending up kind of at or around the same endpoint.
Like, perfect example, back in the day, like a chick that was getting partied was like a lot of times like homeless. Like, she ain't had nowhere to go.
Now it's like
she got a house.
Maybe a CEO.
Yeah, right. She inviting you to the house.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Come to the house and bring your brother. Your brother that was at the Christmas party, bring him with you.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, just to round this all up.
Lady Eloise on Boomerang.
Exactly. Yeah. The open relationship, open marriage. How do you view that shit?
At this big age, I don't think I could do it. I love my girl too much. I couldn't be a willing participant in that. We would just have to break up.
Yeah.
Like we would have to break up because again, I've said this before. I'm gonna throw up. Like soon as she go, I'm gonna throw up.
I know how just like I can get in a sexual zone. I can't see someone else do that.
I'm going gummy worm and I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, I'm on soft. That's over.
I'm going to ruin the vibe.
That's over.
I'm going to kill the vibe. They don't like, man, nigga, like.
Yeah. Ain't enough gas stations in the world. That's over.
Yeah, them black ants is going in reverse, nigga. It is not going to work.
You at BJ's trying to buy honey and shit. Hey, none of this shit working.
Like, damn, last time I fucked the vibe up, man. I got to come correct this time.
I couldn't.
It's no amount of gas station sex pills that's going to get me there. If I see a nigga like really drilling my girl.
Nah. I don't give a fuck how many times we go to a turf club. Ain't none of this shit working out here today.
And you can't even like prep me for it. You can't even work me up to where it's like, all right, man, tonight's the night. Like,
my thing is like, if your girl come to you and ask for that, it's just like, God damn, like
I didn't never know you. I never knew you.
Oh, you like the party?
Yo, no, you can do your thing. Drop me off at the Golden Gate Bridge before you go.
Tell my mom I love her.
Like if you had to guess, how many aspirin was in that bottle last time you checked it? Because I'm gonna just take all them Jones.
Yeah,
I definitely need like at least 38 aspirin.
Dog. The funniest shit, Madoff and his wife tried. Well, not the funniest shit, but Madoff and his wife tried to commit suicide before he like actually returned to jail. Yeah. And then the new John, they took all the pills. Was like getting bed. We about to be out this bitch. He took all the pills, and when he woke up in the morning, he was like, damn. I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm still here.
There's got to be some depressing shit.
So this wasn't a foolproof plan.
You just wake up with a headache.
My head is pounding.
Ain't even no more Tylenol on the table. We just took all the motherfuckers like. No, but that shit, the open relationship, open marriage, John, like it worked for people.
Yeah, it ain't for me. And
Definitely
part
not.
of doing personal development is knowing what's for you and what ain't. And I just know me. It ain't for me.
Yeah. The craziest part is like you like this shit. You in an open relationship, open marriage, and like cheating. It's crazy. But it be.
What about like the niggas that like they girl be with the threesome and then they like scumbag the threesome and then just start hitting the chick on the side?
It happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens.
Backdoor the threesome?
Yeah, it happens.
This video's not getting no monetization on YouTube. Like I can see.
We haven't earned $1 today.
We haven't earned 30 cents.
This is a treat for y'all. This is more so a conversation for the live show.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. But the shit is real. I don't. Again, I think I've just grown up and I just understand the way the world works. And I don't judge. I don't point fingers.
Yeah, I think you've taken a Vince Staples position to life where he was like, "Yo, there's no surprises to me anymore at this age I'm at now." He said, "It's just, oh damn, that's crazy." Like he's like, and I just move on with my day.
Yeah, like because at the end of the day, I look at it like this. This is just being honest. I am nowhere close to the most lit nigga ever. I'm not even in the realm.
I was pretty lit at the time, and I'm far less lit than I was at my peak.
Man, listen, I like not trying to be funny. I do the same 4 to 5 things every day. I eat, I go to the gym, I play with the dog, I fucking watch.
Very predictable life.
I'm regular as shit.
Yeah.
And I get bombarded with crazy shit and crazy shit said to me and see crazy shit and have heard crazy. And so I could only imagine what like Magic Johnson had to deal with in 87. That shit was probably unfucking believable.
Yeah, Magic smashed his way to an uncurable disease.
The motherfucking team manager on the dock was like, yo, every hotel we would get to, he's like, because, it was like, there wasn't like voicemail and all that shit back in the day and all that. He's like, every hotel we would get to, the receptionist at the...
Oh, memos.
He was like this fucking thick of just names and numbers. Thumbing through them bitches. See who the fuck I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? And About to call all these bitches over there. This shit is just it's what it is.
I think the point that I'm trying to get home, I just want everybody to make better decisions. And it's like, be as big of a freak as you want, but don't let it cost you your job or your family. If you care about either one of those.
Easier said than done.
Because it's going to be hard to go into the next job interview as like Sergeant Freakball and have to explain yourself when you was just plastered all over the news.
I've seen
for
niggas
38
again.
days.
I've seen motherfuckers get fired for intermixing certain shit, doing certain shit. I've seen situations where somebody did something that they shouldn't have done and they had to deal with this out in the street or deal with this.
Yeah, and it's like
It's life, man. This shit regular.
On a macro level, we have all of these conversations in society about like societal advancement and power dynamics and different stuff like that. And then it's like you hear these stories and you're like, nobody cares about this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like these are like propaganda and like talking points that are being pushed forth from a set group of people that want to get certain stuff off because the average everyday person doesn't give a shit about none of this stuff. They just want to fuck.
That's it.
Girls just want to have fun and guys just want to be freak balls at the heart of it. So, yeah, we spent an hour on that. I'm sorry. But it's like a multi-layered conversation. Dan, you got anything to add to this to put a bow on this?
No, I ain't got nothing to say. It's going to be a whole nother hour.
You ought to get the fuck out of here.
I'm a spared audience.
That shit crazy.
Audience, if y'all got any suggestions, leave it in the comments, man. I don't know. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Like I just said, we spent the hour on this. It's like I don't know.
Man, listen. I look at it like this. At the end of the day, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes good decisions some days, bad decisions some days. It's life. We can't point no fingers at whoever. Because look at Ron Jeremy and Russ Meyer and them from the like it.
But I think the problem, and Ron Jeremy is a good example. I think the problem becomes when you exist in a world where the abnormal becomes normalized for an extended amount of time. It makes you think the rest of the world is like that, and then you go into the regular normal world with those ethics. And then you realize, then you do some shit and you realize like, oh damn, when you get indicted like Ron Jeremy did for rape, you realize like, oh, like she wasn't like role playing or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And it can lead people to making regular life, regular world, normal people decisions around regular life, regular world people that you think is normal because you've been existing in an abnormal world for an extended amount of time.
Like I say it all the time, the biggest thing for me is, are you committing a crime? That's when it's like, okay.
Shit, but now the line between there's reverse consent now. You know what I'm saying? Where in the moment you weren't committing a crime, but then the person, male or female, can be like, now that I look back on that, like I think I got sexually assaulted. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they can what do they call it? Remove consent from the situation after the fact. And I'm just like, shit. You see what I'm saying? It's
I totally understand.
In that scenario, anybody could get jammed up like that. You know what I'm saying?
I more so was alluding to like just putting a bow on it, like the Lori Harvey situation. Like, if she's not committing a crime, let the girl date and mind her motherfucking business. Future, if he ain't committing no crime, let him do what the fuck he doing. At the end of the day, fucking with a nigga and fucking with his dad is not a crime. I know we might like to think it is,
but it's also not normal.
It's definitely not normal. But neither is hitting a 10-team. So y'all try that shit every motherfucking day. So whatever. Like, that's all I'm saying. I just don't think it's as shocking as people try to play it out to be. Her with Dangerous Idris, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah.
Then Meek got reeled into it. It got strange.
Meek gets reeled into everything.
He got reeled into that John because of like a tweet or whatever. Then he had to clear it up because him and Damson are friends. It was weird.
Yeah, Meek, man, I'm not
going
down
weird.
that road today.
Here's how we put a bow on this. We all should know less about each other.
That's it.
Basically.
Well, I don't know one bitch Wilt fuck. But he hit 25.
Well, he hit one of mine.
You did?
Wilt hit one of mine.
One of your bitches?
Wilt hit one of my aunts.
Oh, your aunt? Yeah. I thought you were saying he hit one of mine.
No. That would be crazy.
That's what I took.
Wilt was cross generational.
Like, how old is this bitch you
No,
dealing with?
Wilt definitely put the Master Blaster on one of my aunts.
Oh, yeah?
That's like her claim to fame. She tells
And that
everybody.
right there, I knew a bitch that told me how she fucked Pac back in the day. Older chick. And it's just like, why are you telling Pac been dead since 97? It's 2007. Why are you telling me this?
Mano said, yeah, I don't know what it was about me, man. I just, for some reason, I don't know if it was the Brooklyn energy, just all the women that had sex with Biggie Smalls just found themselves being in love with me.
Yeah, that shit real. Like,
But yes, we all should know less about each other.
we all should know less.
That's the
about
lesson here.
Yeah.
I got to it. It took an hour, but I got to it.
Changing topics a little bit. Well, a lot of bit. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever watched The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Like, you watched it?
I watched it. I finished it. I watched it probably 2 times all the way through. I watched it when it originally aired when I was younger, so I didn't really retain as much of it as I needed to, the life lessons and different stuff that was in there. Then I watched it again as a little bit older, but I need to watch it again.
Okay, so this is good then. I can have this conversation with you. I want to ask this question. So I never watched it, right?
Never watched it.
I never watched The Sopranos. And I've said over and over, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch it. Ra always talks about it. My dad has mentioned it. You know, it's one of
People
those
go back and forth saying, like, it's one of the 3 best shows in television history.
So this is my thing.
I got it above The Wire, actually.
Years
Yeah,
ago.
I had people that have it. I like The Wire a little bit better, but people have it above The Wire.
Okay, so this is where I want to get to there. So years ago, Paul Mooney had this thing where he was basically saying how TV doesn't have ratings. He's like, it's all made up. It doesn't exist. He was like, perfect example. You look at Oz, you look at The Sopranos. Niggas and white people are doing the same exact shit. Selling drugs, fucking, and killing each other. White people are living in mansions, niggas is in jail. TV has no ratings.
Yeah.
And I started to watch The Sopranos this week, and I'm about 6 episodes into the first season. Is it just me, or does the race thing at all play with you in watching?
Oh, it's very pronounced.
Okay.
It's very, very pronounced.
Because I'm just to myself where it's like, it's so many, like, I don't even think it's a hidden message. I think it's more so like subtleties that we don't think about. Where
Microaggressions.
Microaggressions where it's like,
That's the second word of the week.
you like,
Oh, you on the street?
it's so many little seeds that get planted in this. Even down to me going in and digging in the fact that, you know, The Wire was only ever nominated for 2 Emmys. Its entire run.
It didn't even get popular till after it aired.
This is the exactly where I was going. The Wire didn't become popular until season 4. That was its best ratings show, and even that ratings was at
Still
81.
like, meh.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, but the people at HBO believed in David Simon and the storytelling he was doing, that they stuck with it instead of canceling it.
So this is what I'm saying. Gandolfini, who plays Tony Soprano, he's been like heralded as like one of the greatest TV actors ever. And you look at that in the fact that he won Emmys, Golden Globe. He kept winning this shit every year, year after year, while The Wire would barely even get nominated. So I came across this article the other day where it basically says Tony Soprano's character introduced the anti-hero. But if it wasn't for Omar Little in The Wire, the anti-hero might not have become the thing of television in Hollywood. So perfect example. Before Tony Soprano, you know what an anti-hero is.
Yeah.
Where someone who does bad shit but to the fan favor.
Yeah.
So you got Tony Soprano, who's the head of a mob family, but he's dealing with the psychosis part of it. He's dealing with going to therapy and all these different
And
things.
his wife and his kids, and they growing up a certain way and trying to rear your son in a certain way and try to make him tough and be like you, and he's not assimilating.
And I'm looking at it, no bullshit, 6 episodes in, and I'm just like, yo, Tony Soprano is Avon Barksdale. It's literally the same fucking character. Why is he heralded as like the greatest thing ever, but there was no fanfare at all for what The Wire was?
You know why they was coming on at the same time? So it's like,
Well, The Wire aired on, they said that the article was saying how The Wire had a bad time slot
Yeah, that's what
on
I'm saying,
Sunday
yeah.
and shit. And I'm looking at it and I go further and further and further into it, and I'm just like, Omar, here go another crazy John. You know, Omar was only supposed to be in 8 episodes.
yeah, it got
And
too popular.
He got popular amongst the Wire fans or whatever, and they like, yo, we got to keep him in the goings-ons of it. So the article was saying how Tony Soprano is the architect of the anti-hero, but if not for Omar Little, you don't get Walter White in Breaking Bad. You don't get what's her name in How to Get Away with Murder. What's what's her name?
The professor.
The professor from
Yeah,
How to Get Away.
yeah.
You don't get Dexter on the deck. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, who do you think is a better anti-hero? Tony Soprano, Omar Little?
It's Omar Little. It's Omar Little because of the fact that I hated Omar, but I still understood his motivations and his importance of telling the story from that lens as it relates to the street game, because you can't just sell heroin and bricks and this and this and this and not have a figure like him or figures like him that exist. He represented was referred to in street culture as the wolf, whatever the case may be. But he was so developed as a character because his true essence was everything other than what he led with. Like, his humanity was different than what he did. And because of that, it made people endear to him because they understood his motivations, where it's like, yo, if somebody gonna make it, somebody gonna take it. And the element of there being like vendettas that were there because there's other hidden stuff that they don't pronounce that went on that turned him into what he turned into.
So you know his character is based off an actual person. The guy was actually a consultant. Like, David Simon brought him on as a consultant. His wife was who David Simon wrote with for The Corner. And I'm just like, yo, The Wire was so fucking good. And I'm like, how wasn't this show heralded during its run?
Black.
Exactly.
Black.
And you know what I told my homie the other day? He was like, yo, this is like the greatest comparison you've ever given. The Sopranos and The Wire, to me, The Sopranos is Godfather and The Wire is Scarface. Where in the moment, we don't respect it, but then when you go back and you realize, you like, damn, this might have been one of the best movies ever.
Scarface wasn't a hit.
It wasn't a hit at all.
It was like, people literally were like, what the fuck is this?
What's the point in this?
And the black community were the ones that championed Scarface, that made it what it was and made it so popular once it came out on like VHS and all that shit. And that's when Scarface blew the fuck up, because its theatrical release, critics canned it. They was like, who the fuck is this fucking Italian playing a Cuban immigrant? Like, they slammed
But
the
you figure
movie.
he had already did Godfather. So it was like, they was more
And
so
I think Dog Day Afternoon,
Dog Day
too.
Afternoon was the year before.
Yeah.
It was like, what was the point in this?
Yeah, this is stupid.
This is dumb.
Yeah,
But then
the Cubans were protesting. The people in Florida was protesting. Everybody was protesting.
Everybody was protesting.
But then it becomes a cult thing. And then you go back and you like, damn, this might have been one of the greatest pieces of cinema, but we didn't respect it in its time being.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the first couple episodes of Sopranos, and I'm just like, yo, it's almost the same. It's almost like linear to The Wire.
Yeah, very similar.
And I'm like, how was this shit not nominated for nothing? But
Sometimes you be ahead of your time.
that was going on at the same time.
But the thing is, though, mob organized crime already had a threshold and a 20, 30-year head start of being implanted in culture, to where you get to The Sopranos, we had never seen that in television form. Like, in long form, where it's like you get to explore all the characters' motivations, their thoughts, their trials and tribulations. Like, you don't really get to elongate it, especially in a cable television format where you can show everything. It's no innuendo. You don't have to allude to something. You can just show it. Like, you can just say it. You could do whatever you want because it's paid cable. Whereas it's like, with The Godfather, they show you as much as they can in a 3-hour, 30-minute window. But they didn't have, how many episodes was The Sopranos?
6 seasons.
So like 72 episodes, was it 70 episodes, whatever it was, to where you can uncover every stone. You can get into Christopher Moltisanti and his relationship, and like you can dedicate time to developing and storytelling around every single vital character and secondary character. You can understand where this person went wrong, what got him killed, and stuff like that. I've been getting into now, there's YouTube channels, I don't know if either one of y'all came across them, that only go back and review like Godfather, Scarface, Carlito's Way, shit like that, and like try to pull out the hidden meaning behind what got this person killed. Why did this person make this decision and stuff like that? And it's giving me like new perspective on some of these things where it's like, certain stuff you might be viewing it in the film like it just is what it is, but because they don't have that elongated storytelling period, you can't know 100% why something happened. The Sopranos was afforded the long form storytelling ability to leave no stone unturned, to the point where at the end they had to hit us with a cliffhanger because everything else was so pronounced for the whole series.
Now
And then at that time too, also, black people loved the mob, so the mob was bigger than a regular nigga running the block in the hood. Because niggas wanted to, the drug dealers modeled themselves off the mob.
They call themselves that.
Yeah, so you get a mob show, so you tuned in like, oh, this is a mob shit, this is a mafia shit. And then, you want to reenact the shit that you seen in that.
There's more of a legitimacy attached to the mob because it became a part of American culture and the fabric of culture. They fucking started Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like certain things.
They had all the unions.
They had all the unions, the Teamsters, the whole nine. So it's like.
They said Trump don't get the plaza without the mob because they had the concrete.
Exactly.
Not the plaza, the Trump Tower.
So their role in not only just illegal business and being like a black hand and racketeers and all of that shit, there's the presence of them in legitimate business where a person that's like an investment banker can even relate to a mafia story as it relates to telling around the legitimacy part of it, even if they can't relate to the crime element. Whereas people on his face, people just looked at The Wire like it's just a crime drama, just niggas
and
doing
I'm
nigga
looking
shit.
at The Sopranos where it's like, okay, they got the waste management company. Avon and them had Orlando's. They got the spot where they hang out. Avon and them. I'm just like, yo, it's the same exact shit. So let me ask this. We spoke about the anti-hero aspect, right, of Omar and Tony Soprano. Me personally, I have The Wire as the best show ever. Like I said, I'm going through The Sopranos now. I'm going to get through it probably in the next week or so, whatever. I personally, when you talk about the character arcs, not necessarily the depth, but the character arc, where you got Omar, every man got to have a code. Avon, the game is the game. You got all these different Marlo.
I was going to say, I think Marlo Stanfield is, if not the greatest, one of the greatest TV villains in history.
I'm going to tell you why I got Avon as the better character, though.
Okay.
Because...
And what's so crazy is both of them are like classically trained actors. Like you would think like Wood Harris just came in off the street. All of his roles that he played, fucking Above the Rim, which I just recently. I'm doing a down bad with Chad on Above the Rim. It's gonna blow y'all minds because Above the Rim is not a good fucking movie. It's horrible.
It's not good at all.
It's horrible. Tupac is magic in that movie. The rest of that shit is awful.
The nigga in the fucking final game, I think 53, he caught the rebound and threw a full court pass to himself. And he caught it and dunked it. I was just like, what the fuck?
This is the most shoestring of a shoestring budget.
But I'm going to tell you, Ra always was shout out Ra. He was always a Marlo fan.
And I started off as an Avon guy, and over time of rewatching The Wire, and somebody did like a short film on YouTube where all the Marlo shit is like an hour and 10 minutes. It's the best thing I ever fucking watched, and you just like, yo, Marlo couldn't be fucked with, dog.
So I'm gonna tell you why I fuck with Avon a little bit more than Marlo.
I hated Avon. I hated Marlo at first.
I'm gonna tell you why. Avon runs the drug syndicate. He got the towers. He got the pit, the low rises, all of that shit. The feds sweep in, cell phones, the pay phones, the beepers, all of that bullshit. Avon goes down. When Avon comes home in season 3, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Avon clipped 6 niggas in jail to get out. You know what I'm saying? To the point where D'Angelo was just like, yeah, I don't want none of whatever the fuck you got going on. I can't fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Cool. Avon gets the fuck out. So the whole breakdown of him and Stringer was Stringer wanted to be legitimate. Avon is like...
Stringer was a smart, dumb nigga.
Smart, dumb nigga. Avon's whole thing was the game is the game. You know as well as I do, and you know more than I do probably, and Dan. Dan know more than probably a lot of us. There are a lot of niggas who believe that you play the game till you can't play it no more.
Absolutely.
Everything... Am I right, Dan?
Me and Chad has a friend now that's about to get cooked because he couldn't get out the game.
You play the game until you can't play the shit no more. And everything that come with the game is part of the game. That was Avon hold you on a stringer like they saw your black ass coming, nigga. this is where the fuck, because remember Stringer wanted Tall Man Slim Charles to go kill Clay Davis. And he was just like, no, nigga.
Like, this is like some assassination type shit.
Like, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
So Avon comes the fuck home, and his whole thing was, I want my corners. And Stringer was like, nigga, we can make so much more money. And that was my thing I loved about Stringer when I was younger. It was like, Stringer, they made the money and was like, yo, I'm trying to get out. But then you realize, like, Stringer was a dickhead.
The dickhead.
So
Stringer went to 4 community college classes and started thinking he was Robert Smith and went out here with them white boys and got his ass fried. And then he stepped up to the big boss, only to realize that the big boss is a nigga like him, and he really spun him for a loop.
So Avon's thing was, I want my corners. We fought for them towers, they ours. And Stringer was like, nigga, fuck them street corners. Then he was like, no, nigga, I run West Side. I'm not going out on some, I just stepped off. It don't work like that. Right. So then when you got Marlo who comes along, remember the nigga tried to tell him at the rim shop, the cemetery and the jail is littered with niggas who wore the crown.
Yeah, but
Point
they wore
it though. It's my time now. So you see the seed of what Avon was talking. So what made me fuck with Avon a little bit more was when Marlo finally figured out the whole shit with Prop Joe and the Greeks and everything, and they remember Omar stole the whole shipment or whatever. Mm-hmm. So Marlo started throwing all that money on Sergey's books, trying to get on his visiting list. So then he finally gets approved for the visit.
This is my favorite scene
of
all
time. And Avon walks the fuck in like, surprise, nigga. And he was like, yeah, Sergey come to me because, you know, I'm kind of like an authority figure in here. And he's like, yo, this dude from Marlo in the West Side putting money on my books. Do you know him? I'm like, yeah, I know him real motherfucking well. And he's like, yeah, okay. So he's like, so this is the way it's going to go. You put 100,000, my sister. Next time you come here, it won't be my face in the interrogation room. And his whole thing was, the game is the game. I got nothing but love in my heart for West Side. Fuck them East Side bitches. At the end of the day, me and you went to war and you won. I'm in here, you out there. But my love and my dedication to the game in the West Side, I'd rather you have the connect than them East Side bitches. Marlo don't get the connect without Avon. Yeah. And that shit made me, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. You see where I'm going with this?
That's my favorite scene of the whole series. Because it was a show of it was a subtle show of power to where it's like, you think you in control, but I'm actually in control.
I'm the nigga that can make this happen for you or not happen for you. Yeah. But Avon losing the war, Stringer getting killed, the towers is done, Pitt done, all of that shit. You in jail, and you still that dedicated to the game to where you like, you handle this, I'll make sure you get to connect. To the point where when Marlo came back and met with Sergey, what Avon do in the corner? Through the West, and it's just like, Avon was nuts. Yeah. Like, he was psychotic. But that's dedication.
He was married to the streets.
But married to his stance.
Yeah.
In what he believed.
To an ideology.
To an ideology. So that, for me, was just like, God damn, Avon was all of that. You see what I'm saying? My favorite scene from The Wire, I got 3 of them. The talk that Omar had with Bunk when they was at the train station, when Bunk told him was like, all of these bodies. You know what I'm saying? That's all we got now. He's like, back in the day, we had some real thumpers out here in West Side of Baltimore. Wasn't about no gun, more so about your hands. And he was like, I wanted to be like them. That was what I wanted. But they knew I wasn't that shit. He's like, I would show up to the parties, the little get-togethers, and they would tell me, what you doing here, schoolboy? You ain't supposed to be here. Little did I know they was saving me from myself. And he was like, yeah, Omar, remember Omar said the shit about, well, yeah, you know, all these bodies and shit. Ain't nobody give a fuck. We don't give a fuck about no bodies. He was like, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. And he's like, I'm watching the other day where the girl was laying out in the street and the kids was imitating you. Made me sick to my stomach how far we done fallen, motherfucker. Like, that's one of the best scenes to me. Also, Omar in court when he testified on
when he showed him with the
that
with
shit
the
was just fucking excellent. That shit was just excellent. And if I had to have another scene, it was the fact that another one for me was when Michael killed Snoop in season 5. Mm-hmm. Because remember, they trained him. That was like the pup. Yeah. And it was like anybody else. Remember, Naaman mom wanted Naaman to be Weebay. Yeah. He ain't Weebay. You know what I'm saying? Randy wanted to be in the mix, but Michael, he learned that fast, was like, don't bring no hammer.
Yeah, he knew how to cross the double cross.
He knew how to cross the double cross. When he pulled the gun out, Snoop just like
call that a triple cross in the streets now.
Snoop just like, damn, how you know? Like, same shit you taught me. Like, you know, it's just like, to me, The Wire is just unbelievable.
Oh, it's a phenomenal fucking show.
And I'm gonna watch The Soprano with an open mind, but I'm already kind of like racist. getting super into this joint.
I'm already like racist.
Because they just get to do whatever and just get heralded for the shit. But I look at The Wire, the way they implemented real life into this storyline, it's just the reverend from the church. That's the real bull.
Yeah.
Snoop is a real person. The Cuddy, you know, Cuddy is supposed to be Tank Davis's actual trainer, the real Cuddy and shit. Yeah. Like, it's just so much shit that's just, The Wire was phenomenal.
Yeah, The Wire was out of this world, man. What made me fall in love with Marlo as a character was the way he just constantly just outwitted and outsmarted Avon when they was going to war. Like, when Avon sent his cousin at him, and, you know, he playing along with it, whatever, he fuck Avon cousin, this, and this. He's like, yeah, I don't really, you know, be doing too much going on dates, this and this, but we can get up, da. And then when he peeped the move, came to the house and smoked her, and Avon was like, this motherfucker.
Still want to talk a true string?
This motherfucker. But even and then, Avon is still like, he good, man. He good. Like,
when Slim Charles came and told him, Avon was like, this motherfucker, man. I said it the other day. You know how I know Avon was going, looking back on it now, how I know Avon was going to lose the war? When he had on the clapback hat, I'm like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah. It's a clapback hat.
He had the clapback hat on.
And then the other joint where they tried to pull a drive-by on fucking Marlo and them, and they had the big boy was driving the truck, and they ended up shooting the joint up. I'm just like, yo, Avon cannot get this month. I was in real time when I was first watching, I was so frustrated. And then I went back and watched it. I'm like, yo, Marlo was a crafty motherfucker. Like, he just always knew to be 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of that shit. And I think seen the blitz coming.
Another thing, too, is how they always say if everyone in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. When him and Weebay went down, you realize that the chinks in the links in the chain weren't as strong as you thought.
Yeah.
Because once Stinkum got killed, Weebay went down and he went down. It was Stringer left with Bodie Poot. They brought in Slim Charles, who was all of that. But the rest of them was dickheads. Yeah. And they was just essentially fucking up the whole season 3.
Yep.
Like, they just kept fumbling every fucking possibility they had. Remember they shot up Omar grandma? And it's just, Stringer didn't know what he wanted to do.
Blew the old lady hat off and shot the crown off her head.
So let me ask you this. Just to wrap this up, you got Tony Soprano, you got Omar Little. You throw in Walter White. Does he get above any of them as far as an anti-hero? Because I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Walter White might be one of the greatest characters in the history of television.
From where he started to where he
ended up. His progression
was nuts. To go from this regular, mundane, white bread, suburban chemistry teacher to not only cooking the meth and distributing, to being like a stone cold gangster at the end of that shit, you almost have to give it to Walter White. It's like, just his character alone, him and Jesse Pinkman together as a duo was just like, this is A1 television. And they did it on fucking FX, which kind of hamstrings you to how far you can push it, but they pushed it to the limit with that show.
It's funny because him and Jesse, they're kind of, to me, like Nick and Ziggy Sabatka from season 2 of The Wire. Their dynamic is the same exact shit. Whereas, like, it's him that's starting this shit, but turns out you the real motherfucker that can actually get shit done. So I always like Walter White, John. But that just, the racial component is huge to me. Something else I watched this past week that I honestly, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I didn't even know that I was like, I didn't know this is where it was going and what I was getting into. So I'm on HBO Max the other day. HBO Max is phenomenal.
It's all that.
All that. And
there's a new series on there. Somebody told me to watch things called like Last of Us or something like that. That they said it's like, they said it's all that.
I'm gonna check that out. I saw that the other night.
They said White Lotus is good too. I haven't tapped in with that.
There's a documentary on HBO Max. I don't know if any of y'all watched it. And I honestly didn't. When I saw it, I'm just like, okay, but I didn't think it was gonna go where it went. It's called 38 in the Garden. It's about Jeremy Lin.
Oh, hell yeah, I watched it.
Did you watch it?
It's an A++.
Bro, clap that joint up.
It's a fucking super A+.
When I saw it, I'm thinking to myself, like, how much could possibly be talked about this? Bro, You're black.
Somewhat.
I'm black.
Semi.
Dan is black. As a black man, because being a black man is one of the hardest things on the planet. As a black man, you really don't be ready to hear about anybody else's racial struggle because you black. All of that other shit, I ain't trying to hear that.
Fuck that.
I'm black. I've been through enough racial struggle.
Eat shit.
Eat shit. Right. That's kind of the way you're wired. I cut that joint on thinking it was going to be a documentary just about, him getting his shot and
like some fluff shit
and balling the fuck out.
Yeah.
The racial shit that they put on, I wasn't ready for it. It choked me up a little bit. I was not ready for the shit. Yeah. And it basically, for any of you that haven't watched it, it breaks down how Asian American men are seen, respected, talked to, dealt with all across the board. Tyson Chandler said himself, when Jeremy Lin got signed to the Knicks, he was on their floor, like he came to the hotel and he came off the elevator, was like, hey, Tyson Chandler, like, yo, how the fuck fans keep getting up here?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Lin's like, I know he just looking like, who's this fucking little Asian kid talking to me on it? Like, goddamn, fans getting on the hotel floor again? Like, what the fuck? So he's like, the next day he came down. He's like, I get on the bus, whatever. He was like, yo, we get to the arena and they're like giving me a hard way to go. He was like literally to the point where it's like, I'm walking in and security was like, you got to pass. He's like, where's your badge? He's like, I don't got no badge.
And he said he was like an all Knicks team gear.
And he was like, I don't got no badge. And they like, well, you can't come in this way. You got to have a badge to be in the building. He's like, no, I'm a player. And he's like, the security is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No Asians in the NBA, nigga. Yeah, we got one. You got Yao Ming, nigga.
And he was just basically, they talk about how frustrating it was for him to just get a look. Yeah. So his whole situation was, he was in high school. He was tearing it up in his high school. They won the state championship. Him and his dad made his highlight reel together and started shopping at the colleges and shit. He's like, I got no looks for college. I wound up getting 2 offers to go to school academically. One was MIT, one was Harvard. And he was like, yo, MIT is a Division III, Harvard is a Division I. I got to go to Harvard. He's like, my parents wanted me to go to MIT because they love the programs, MIT. But he's like, I got to go to Harvard because that's D1. If I want to play, I got to play against the best. So he goes to Harvard, D1, plays 4 years, graduates. He gets an agent. The agent told him, you need to prepare to not be drafted. He was just like, well, damn, nigga, you the agent.
Right. Why you sign me?
Because you're Asian.
Yeah, nigga, you might create like some botany shit or something we can monetize or something. I don't know.
Some weed, nigga,
I want my 6% regardless.
Bunch of faux franchise.
You might open up a successful, you might be the next Steve Aoki's dad. You might open the next Benny Hanna's, nigga. And I want in. So...
Y'all funny as shit. So he basically, he doesn't get drafted. He gets signed on with the Warriors. He's thinking like, oh, this is great. But he don't even get a shot to come to practice. They just immediately send him to the D League, dropped him. He gets put on with, I think it was the Rockets or the Clippers. He goes to the D League again. The Knicks pick him up on the waiver wire. He knew Landry Fields from college. He was like, yo, can I come stay at your crib? He was like, yeah, come on.
Sleeping on Landry's couch.
Come sleep on the couch. He's with the Knicks. They had got rid of Chauncey Billups. Melo was hurt. Amari was hurt. They were so depleted as far as they fucking, depth chart.
They had no choice.
They literally said that they were printing up the papers to release him the next day. He was supposed to get released from the Knicks the next day. They were playing the Nets against Darren Williams. Amon Shumpert was like, I can remember the moment like it was yesterday. D'Antoni looked down the bench and was like, Jeremy, get in there. And was like, oh shit. And Jeremy Lin said that game, going into the game, his agent told him, was like, listen, you're gonna get dropped tomorrow. They're gonna release you. If you do get a chance to play tonight, just go out there and have fun, man. Do your thing.
Light it up.
Just had, so he's like, I knew I had to have a Jeremy Lin game. And he was like, he told his agent, like, I gotta have a Jeremy Lin game. His agent looked at him, was like, I don't even know what the fuck that means.
But get your ass out there.
But if you go out there, you got to go out there. So he said he went out there, And, you know, he had 25 points and 8 assists that game, and the Knicks came back and won the game. They said that he went in the locker room and was crying in the shower for like 30 minutes. Tyson Chandler was like, I remember he was crying like we won the championship. And he was like, yo, are you okay? And he was just like, they can't cut me now. Like, there's no way they can cut me. Yeah. So he said he came back the next day, whatever. They was like, he said D'Antoni was like, Jeremy, get yourself together. You're going to be in the 5. And he was like, wait, what? And he was like, dude, I was supposed to get cut.
And now I'm starting.
So he wound up starting the game against the Jazz. He had 27 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. They won that game. So it was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? He's finally getting looks. He's making his shots.
Can you believe that a player that's in the NBA can play basketball?
Yeah, this shit was crazy. So then they win the next game. They won 3 in a row. Now came the game against Kobe in the Garden. Now the Lin shit is going nuts. They said they started selling Lin jerseys. They sold out in 48 hours. Tyson Chandler was like, yo, this shit was crazy. A week ago, nobody even knew this motherfucker was on the team. Fast forward 6 days, my phone is ringing, and people who I know, people who like calling me like, yo, T, yo, can you get me a pic with Lin? Yo, can you get an autograph from Lin for me? He's like, what the fuck? He was like, yo, people are literally hitting me up.
Like, nigga, I'm the starting center. Nigga.
Like, get me next to Jeremy Lin. So he's just like, this shit is crazy. So they got the game in Madison Square Garden against Kobe, against the Lakers. So now the whole, you know, basketball universe is paying attention to this shit. Because it's like, no way this shit continues tonight. You about to play Kobe. Kobe's the best player in the league. The Lakers just won a championship. This ends the night.
Yeah.
He goes out there and drops 38 points on Kobe and the Lakers, and they win the game on a national televised game, and that's when the shit just exploded. And they got all these different age, they got Lucy Liu, all these different age people, and they're explaining how historically Asian men are viewed as frail, unmasculine, small dick,
the comedian guy, what's his name? That was the
YouTuber boy. Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, he got a couple Netflix specials.
Yeah.
Too.
But he's funny.
Hassan Minhaj.
He was basically like, yo, we watched like our entire race get like respect on an athletic level that we never. He's like, I remember getting passed over in gym class all the time. Yeah. All the time. Simply because you Asian. No one's fucking thinking you can play any sport or this and the third. And so it goes past the game with Kobe and them to the game with the Raptors. And he was like, that game, that moment, when that shit happened, I'm like, this is some Paul Bunyan shit that we gonna get to tell our kids about. Yeah. And the moment I'm speaking about, Jeremy Lin got the ball off the rebound, 20 seconds left, and he waved off the pick and roll. And Tyson Chandler, Amon Shumpert was like, wait, you don't want to pick and roll? And Tyson Chandler was like, yo, when he waved me off, I'm just like, he about to bury this motherfucker. Yeah. And they was like, we never saw, he's like, no, Haman Assad was like, yo, straight up and down, the last time I saw this from an Asian man was in a Bruce Lee movie. That's the last time I saw an Asian man on some, I'm about to fuck everybody in this room up.
Yeah.
He waved them up. And then literally the older comedian boy was like, everybody was texting. Yo, did you see the wave up? Did you see the wave? Did you see the wave? Because it's like Asian men don't do that.
He did some alpha shit.
He was like the big dick energy like you never saw that. He's like, we never saw Yao do no shit like that. Yeah. Like, watch out. He's like, because you know who does that? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. He's like, it was some Babe Ruth shit. Everybody get the fuck out the way. I got this.
Called his shot. And
then buried it. And it's just like, it made me think, because they go into the Asian hate, and it just made me really sit there just like, damn, that shit, it was like a civil rights moment probably for them. It's a really,
it's a super duper liberating
that shit
story.
I felt good after like, God. And then
me and my girl watched it together a couple months ago, and she was into it. She was like, yo, I didn't even know about this. Like, this is crazy.
And then you really look at it where it's like, this motherfucker was about to be cut and out of the NBA the next day, and he wound up earning $70 million in his playing career after that shit. And it's just like, God damn, like, you gotta respect Jeremy Lin, dog. Like, cause I thought it was just gonna be about some sports shit. Like a nigga getting a shot and, playing good. Yeah. And it goes so much deeper than that. So much into like Lucy Liu was crying. She was like, it made me think. And the one older guy was like, I think back to how Asian parents kind of like just force you to just. He's like, it literally me. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, and if you're not a doctor, you're a failure. And he's like, I think about looking at Jeremy Lin, where his dad and his mother helped him get to the NBA because that was his dream. And it made me think about how many older Asians are really going to help their children with that dream, as opposed to being a doctor or a scientist or a fucking engineer or whatever. And it really is a good ass tugger. It's a good ass documentary.
It's excellent, and they did it in 38 minutes.
Yeah, in 38 minutes. Yeah, the shit was decent. It was a good ass documentary. That was definitely the best joint I've watched this week.
Yeah, for sure. No, that shit was bomb.
Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah, I want to wrap up. I think we need to do this on the big show. Okay. About 2 weeks ago, some family drama unfolded on social media.
Let me see that, Joe.
And it came from an unlikely place. Family drama. A family. A famous family. And it unfolded from a family that we did not expect or could imagine that this would come from. Master P is hip-hop royalty.
Yeah.
He has become, as famous, as as name recognizable as anyone in hip-hop history. He's a legend. At a time where artists from the South were not widely respected by hip-hop, at a time where they were thought to be slow or not up on their business and stuff like that, Master P was able to go out to and through Priority Records and negotiate one of the greatest splits and greatest deals in music history, not just hip-hop. And that cemented him in hip-hop culture and in business culture. He was on Forbes and the whole nine and worth $400 million and all these investments and da. And it made it to where Master P essentially became unflappable in the eyes of many people in and around black culture. So to see his son come out and basically say, my dad is full of shit. My dad is a shyster. He's a scheme artist. He's running like a family-style Ponzi scheme. My brothers and sisters didn't have, money to go to college. He's faking and, living in this house and trying to make it seem like we're doing better than what we are. He's throwing everybody's money into one big pot in order to keep up appearances and to suffice his own image. And
this just made me think about something. I got it. Go ahead.
Handle his tax problems and his other business improprieties and this, that, and the third. And it flipped the internet upside down to where people essentially had to pick a side. And the vast majority of people, probably 80% of people, was like, Romeo's ungrateful. He's full of shit. This is crazy. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. Master P is an icon. He put you on potato chips and And people that were second and third level thinkers looked at this situation and said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And certain people in and around culture that might have had different dealings with Master P and stuff like that, all of these old stories that were kind of like summarily dismissed when they were happening started to come back to the forefront, where you realize like the P in Master P might be for pimp. And he was pimping his family. He tried to pimp Kodak Black. There's people that feel like, and C Murder feels like this, that he left his brother out to dry. And that he didn't do all that he could do in order to try to help C out of that situation, because the way that he got convicted was like in a very unscrupulous type of way, because Louisiana is one of the only states in the union where you don't have to have a unanimous jury in order to be found guilty.
Would be a hung jury in other places.
Was enough to convict him and stuff like this. And it's one of those situations where now all of these stories are starting to bubble back up to the forefront, and you just kind of like, damn, Master P did like one or two good deals, and he been like riding the wave of that his whole career, and we might need to really like take a look into this. So you have all of these different situations where now when you like read into them, you're like, wait a minute, Master P doesn't own the catalog to No Limit no more?
I think the producers got it.
When the fuck did that happen? And then you find out Master P, when Low Limit was starting to wind down, he was just basically going into priority offices and telling Brian Leach these crazy like sales numbers and stuff like that. And basically he leveraged the company. And if people don't understand, leveraging in business means you basically place a certain amount of equity of your business on the line in lieu of like a cash influx or investment or whatever from like a third party. So he basically placed No Limit on the line up against, give me the 12 million, we gonna sell XYZ. Completely missed the mark on those numbers, blah, blah, blah. And through that, it led to a federal court proceeding that, for whatever reason, nobody knew about, but it led to a federal court proceeding where P got sued by Priority for breach of contract, and he got sued by Beats by the Pound, which were the in-house producers for No Limit, because he was not paying out his royalties and the pub money and this and this and this as per the schedule or whatever that was agreed upon in these different contracts. So he got found in breach of contract, he over-leveraged the company, and he lost the rights to No Limit as a company and the back catalog to Beats by the Pound, which were the in-house producers because he wasn't paying anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you examine that and then you look at it and then you're like, there's an IRS lien here, there's an IRS probe here, there's this, and this. Somebody with a brain can look at this and be like, wait a minute, maybe Romeo is telling the truth. And it becomes a situation where, again, all of these stories start to come back out. There was a situation with Kodak Black where Kodak kept getting a little stupid shit, this and this and this. P reached out to him on like, I want to mentor you, but you got to pay me. And then Kodak was like, what the fuck? Like, you called me. Like, how you gonna tell me that I need a mentor and then I gotta pay you? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. And there was this particular situation that basically like led Kodak to be like, oh no, P on some fuck shit. Get this nigga out of here. Where he was trying to do this book bag drive, and Kodak was like, no, I want to give these kids in Broward County, I want to give them Jan Sports, I want to give them like name brand stuff, I want them going to school feeling good and this, and this. And they were supposed to do this book bag drive and split it 50-50, and it ballooned from 40,000 to 100,000. And people like, oh, well, if you want the Jan Sports, that's going to be way more money, and this is going to be 100,000. And then Kodak went and had somebody on his team go and vet the situation out and found out it was like 60,000. So it went from 40 to 60. P said it went from 40 to 100, to where it's like his 50% was going to be paid out from Kodak's
60.
From Kodak's half or whatever, and P wasn't gonna put no money up, but he was gonna put his name on it and his face on it and get the pub of, oh, me and Kodak Black did a book bag drive in Broward County, and it's like stuff like that. And then it's like you start to realize, like, damn, like P kind of like full of shit. Mm-hmm. And you got people that are just like, oh no, Romeo ungrateful, his dad did this, and this. But it's like, yo, what's to be said for this? P having the infrastructure, but his son being the literal sweat equity to push forward this overall agenda of this generational family of the Miller family, where it's like Romeo sold some records. He didn't sell the most records, but he had a #1 record and this, and a gold album here, a platinum album here, but then he was on television for 5 years with Nickelodeon and stuff like that. So it's like you push forward through all of these situations, and then Romeo was like, yo, I'm just now in 2022, about to be 2023, getting my first royalty from like Rap Snacks. Like, I've never seen none of that money. Like, and then you hear P go on an interview with Nino Brown, which was ridiculous, by the way. It's just like, so let me get this straight. You want to clear your name at a venue with a nigga that got on like a crown from the party supply store, and this is how we supposed to believe that like this is just all bullshit and Romeo is just making it up. You know what I'm saying? Where then you dig deeper and you realize C Murder don't fuck with him. Silk the Shocker don't fuck with him. And it's like, why? Misappropriation of funds. The Ponzi scheme that was fucking No Limit. And you basically using all of this goodwill that you had created from the beginning of that initial No Limit run and the 400 million and this and this and this to trick people into believing that you're still doing good business, when in reality, everything else you've done has failed. Mm-hmm. The Master P sneaker failed. He had an endorsement deal with Converse. Instead of him sticking with that, he went and created his own shoe thinking, oh, I'm big enough to sell my own product and manufacture, and then that failed. Then you realize like, oh, damn, the new shoe brand he got, Mignati, that shit is a failure. And it's just like all of these different things that went on, and you just like, yo, like, P really like ain't that nigga. And then you have like Whack 100, who said this a year ago, and nobody listened to him because he's Whack 100, because the conversation came up about who has more money, Nick Cannon or Master P. And he like, yo, Nick Cannon like about 4, 5, 600 million up, like, and can prove it. He could show you liquid. He don't disclose his information to, you know, these publications and all that because he don't want people in his business. But I know Nick Cannon. We in business together. Like, Nick Cannon rich as a motherfucker.
Yeah, like, Wildin' Out is $1 billion
franchise on his face. Wildin' Out got so big in 10 years that MTV looked back and was like, wait, we don't own none of this. Like,
I'm about to fuck you up. Did you know Wildin' Out has a channel?
A channel?
On Samsung TV, they have their own channel.
That's nuts.
It's Wildin' Out 24/7.
And now they're touring with Live Nation, selling out arenas. 15 to 20,000
like, they have their own. I'm not
arenas.
making that up.
That's
they have their own channel.
Like, Wildin' Out is $1 billion. They have Wildin' Out restaurants. They're about to do like a Wildin'
like
Out
3, 6, Wildin' Out 10.
Wildin' Out 10. They're about to do like
shit.
Wildin' Out integrations on like a hospitality level, like at hotels and shit like that. Like Wildin' Out themed bars and stuff like this. And he's like, yo, it's like, Master P ain't got no fucking money. And this is why Whack 100 said this a year. I was like, Master P ain't got no fucking money. That nigga broke. He was like, he lost the catalog. People were like, what you mean lost the catalog? Like, he lost the catalog. Look the shit up. And then you go and you find it. Ross sent us the excerpt from Pimp C's book where he's like, yo, Master P lost the catalog, the Beats by the Pound, years ago. Like 15 years ago. So you think that, you know, if Cash Money's back catalog, they say it produces 30 to $50 million a year, you would think that his shit would at least produce 5 to 15. But he don't, because he don't own the shit. So now KLC and all the Beats by the Pound guys are making this money or whatever the case may be. And then now, most recently, Philly guy, Omi In A Hellcat, he's talking about it, and he's like, yo, I believe Romeo. I stand with Romeo. Master P is full of shit. I know people that done business with him, and he shysted them out of like business opportunities and stuff like that. He said he knows a shoe manufacturer that moved to China to be closer to the manufacturing process and da-da-da. He's a design guy. He moved there to be close to the manufacturing process. He had a net 60, net 90 invoice, whatever that was due to Master P, whatever, that was supposed to pay for like $120,000 for inventory. And in China terms, that's who knows how much shit you getting for $120,000 in one order. So the guy sends the stuff out, and then P was like, yeah, if you don't give me the patents and all of the copyrights to the shoe designs and all of that, I'm not going to pay you. Like shit like that. And this is like, wait, what is this backdoor shit that you're doing? Like, you Master P, what's $120,000 to Master P? And then you realize like, oh, he's broke. And he's been broke for a long time. And he's been able to ride off of his name and just throw product at us. But in reality, we don't even know that any of this product ever sells. You ever went to somebody's house and they had some Icon noodles in the house?
I ain't gonna hold you. I had them noodles down Carolina. Them Jones good as shit. I don't know who's buying them. Them Jones, all right. Like,
my mom loved the Jones with Boosie on it.
Jones with Boosie, exactly.
And we've been basically led to believe that Master P and Romeo own Rap Snacks, when in reality, James Lindsay, the owner of it from Philly, headquartered in Miami, never relinquished any ownership of his company. And it's like, and all P owns is these offshoots of product that delineate from the original Rap Snacks umbrella and whatever James Lindsay's overall food production company is.
Licenses deals that's enough to survive.
To float them.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, it's not no 30, 40, $50 million a year that you would think somebody with so much name and face recognition is making. And this is actually what Omi said. He did an interview with Say Cheese, and this is what he said. I want to actually play part of it.
Romeo recently spoke out on his dad, Master P, and he says he never touched his own money because it went to pay Master P's taxes. All my siblings are broke. Never had money for college. We're living check to check.
I believe it. I believe it. And the most important thing that came out of that whole thing is like towards the end, he, like, if you look up like the history of Rap Snacks, it literally says that, you know, James Lindley sold it, you know, and one of the acquirers was Little Romeo. So for the whole time, I'm thinking Little Romeo was the main owner of the Rap Snacks. You know what I'm saying? And he just came out and said, James, after 15 years, James Lindley, which is an amazing person, by the way, that dude is literally the shit.
Yeah, he's from Philly too, right?
Yeah, but he's down in, like, I went down to his office and met him in Miami.
In Miami, yep.
Real good dude, like, you know what I mean? James is incredible, man, like, but, you know, James, when he said James is making sure that I get my first check ever cut.
Yep, I see
for a company that I endorsed and promoted for 15 years without ever making a penny.
It's crazy.
And no, everyone is saying how ungrateful he is. Like, no one's checking up on his mental. Like, this kid can be possibly about to kill himself. Like, you don't know what's going on in that kid's mind. And the first thing, oh, you ungrateful. Like, no, he's a grown man. He's not a kid anymore. He's a grown man who shielded his father for years. And he just once was, you know, was rightfully his. And I'm glad that, you know, James is able to give him that. Because somebody else would be like, nigga, you take it up with your dad. You ain't getting shit from me. I already paid that 15 years ago. You know, for James to even step up and like, yo, I'm going to start making sure you get your royalties. It's dope to me, honestly.
Yeah, man, I hate to see family go at it online.
You hate it, but it's kind of what he needed because everyone, when you think of Master P, you put him in the faces of like a Magic Johnson, of great businessmen that that you will never think could ever, in reality, he's no fucking Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Just another piece of shit with money.
Just another piece of shit with money.
Hey, man.
So this is somebody who's a multimillionaire himself that's in certain circles that's talking to people on manufacturing, distribution level, people that are leaders in industry, influencers, stuff like that, to where it's like, he just immediately said, I believe Romeo. Like, it's not even a second thought. Because he's hearing the conversations and the whispers of what's going on around here, but the average person is just so blinded by the brand of Master P and No Limit that they can't even see a world where this is even, like, remotely true. And it just sucks that it had to play out in public. But like Omi said, it's kind of one of them situations where it's like, he probably needed this. To where it's like, yo, stop lying to everybody. Like, at some point, like, you've been called to the curtain. You got to stop fucking lying. And if you've been making sure Romeo was straight and this all these years, show the fucking receipts. Show the flow of the money from Rap Snacks to here, da-da-da-da. Show the money that went from Nickelodeon to Romeo. You can't produce it because it didn't happen. And because he's, again, Master P, the average person is just like, oh, man, get the fuck out of here. Romeo on some bullshit. This, and this. Y'all lived in a house with 24-karat gold fixtures. Yeah, that's why the family was broke, doing stupid-ass shit like that.
I remember his house from Cribs, and I remember thinking, like, yo, that's the coldest house.
I'm the only owner of a platinum gold tank.
Yeah. That house was crazy. Remember he had the Impala that changed colors and all that shit? Yeah.
And it's like, yo, you look at all of the different artists that got close to P over the last few years. They get close and immediately like, nope, this ain't, get right away from him.
Did you see Birdman Louisiana Mansion is like
abandoned?
Abandoned? Yeah.
Just left it.
Crazy.
After Katrina. He probably cashed out on insurance money and just left that shit.
Is there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, I still got that? Oh, shit.
That's in the portfolio.
I still got that, Joe. You sure? The name's done?
Yeah, they supposed to put a super fresh down the street. Like, I might go get that joint. Like, yeah, no, it's kind of crazy when you sit back and think about business ethos and business procedure. When you know, like, because when we was young, all we knew was Russell Simmons, Puff Daddy, Dame Dash, Suge Knight, Master P. You know Jay Prince. You know these names.
Yeah.
And then you look up and you just like, Suge and Puffy were not the same.
At all.
At all.
Suge blew up a $500 million company just trying to be a gangster.
At all. Jay Prince and Master P might not be the same.
No.
At all.
And Master P learned from Jay Prince, but he obviously didn't learn enough.
Look at Dame and Hove. You realize they are two completely different people.
Absolutely.
Two completely different ethos, two completely different ways of procedure. So it's just, you know, I think at the end of the day, we overvalue money as a society. And because of that, that will lead us down a path of respecting people who don't necessarily need it or not respecting people who do deserve the shit simply based off of money.
That's a bar.
No, real shit. You ever watch Entourage? If you ever watch Entourage, season 5, remember when Andrew Klein became, he got on with Ari and Babs? And Babs is like, why do you want him? He works down in the valley. And he was like, dog, I'm looking at his numbers. he's got a good agency that we can take on. He just has a cash flow issue because she was like, he's a loser, da 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 da. But then you realize once he brought him on, like he was the reason they got Aaron Sorkin, and it was like, yo, he's not fucked up. Just the issue with remember the whole writer's strike and all of that shit. Yeah. But his business model is actually very, very good. And we do that a lot of times in life where it's like, oh, you got some money, you big bro. Somebody recently was like, bitches got money, niggas is calling them big bro. Big bro, whoever got some money.
Yeah, Moneybag Yo said niggas will call a baby big bro if he got some bread.
Seriously. So we overvalue money and we look at it like Master P has just been, he's been equal to money his whole life. Mm-hmm. You just never not thought about Master P and not
just
thought
400
about
million, 400 million, 400 million, 400 million.
Dollars. So the thought that might not be the case doesn't even resonate for people. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so but then you dig into it and you like, he doesn't own the catalog to No Limit. The gas station shit was a colossal fail. That was his first failed business venture. The sneaker company failed. The rim company failed. So it's like you go down the line and you like, wait, well, where did his money come from? Because if you're making capital investments in all of these companies and all of them go belly up, and then you had to have payroll, marketing, and this throughout the whole time, when did you make money?
This isn't even a knock, but I kind of knew when Master P had the sports agency thing and he had Ricky Williams. Remember that whole debauchery with the deal where Ricky got his deal and it was all incentive? And it was like, yo, Ricky Williams has to rush for 4,400 yards to make some money this year.
You got to rush for 4,000 yards a game to make some bread.
To make some bread.
Crazy part, right? The lawyer that Master P hired is a family friend around my way from 49th Street or whatever. And he told Ricky, don't take the deal. But it wasn't even P. Ricky wanted that deal. Because he felt like he was going to come in and
to earn it and all this crazy
like,
shit.
no, nigga, the NFL draft is slotted in a certain way for a certain reason. Why would you give up any form of guaranteed money? Yeah. If anything, take a BS set salary and take your money in all signing bonus or whatever, but you don't take an incentive-laden deal where it's like you have to hit performance measures in the most physical sport known to man. Mm-hmm. This is dumb.
This is ridiculous. That's a good joint. I got a couple topics I want to save. We're going to do on Patreon. Big joint.
I got a bunch more.
Well, the big joint you made me think about in that joint, but I definitely want to get it because we can dig into on Patreon. The issue with Big Scar and his funeral expenses and then P&B Rock's girlfriend coming out with that whole life insurance. We can do that on Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, get on there, patreon.com/officialtrp. We're going to be talking about life insurance on that next episode because that's a conversation that needs to be had. You got anything else you want to throw out?
Also on Patreon in a separate show, I want to talk about how.
Thank you, y'all. God damn.
My bad. I want to talk about how.
I don't know what you're going on. I'm choking.
I want to talk about how nobody's talking about this, so I'm going to be the first one to throw it out there. Lil Durk has surpassed Lil Baby in this present hip hop game, and I got a whole 9-point bulletin on how and why this took place.
Little Durk is, I'm.
You know, I think Little Durk figured out the jail shit. He figured out getting you. They wasn't counting the
JPay sales and all that.
JPay sales and the streams and all that from the jails. He figured it out because he tell everybody my shit get played more in the jails than any motherfucking artist in the world.
Also, I think something that plays a big thing with that is, I could be wrong. Little Durk is the guy from Chicago. Lil Baby is not the guy from Atlanta.
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
He ain't the guy.
But he ain't the guy. And I look at it almost same as like boxing, where it's like Floyd got like the gamblers. You know what I'm saying? But like, because only gamblers like Floyd in America. You know, they're his only fans.
Safe money.
Yeah. But you look at Canelo Alvarez has the whole Mexico. Felix had the whole Puerto Rico. Ricky Hatton had the whole Great Britain. Pacquiao has the whole Philippines.
And Cotto had the whole PR.
You see what I'm saying? And I look at it like Dirk got the whole Chicago. Like he's the guy in Chicago. Lil Baby is like one of many out of Atlanta. Because it's like you got Future. You still got Jeezy. You got, you got all these guys.
Dirk made a lot of very strategic moves that we're going to talk about as far as how he did this and what he did and what's coming out on the other side of it.
Yeah, did you see all of them unfollowing Gunna?
Yeah. It's getting nasty. Lil Durk dissed him, too.
Yeah.
What happened to Virgil? He probably going to tell. That's a diss. And on the song Mad Max with Future, he said I could have been on that Rico. I called Thug on the phone, told him every nigga I shot. So certain people are taking shit more personal than others. And Dirk is somebody that's really living like that. Like, he ain't playing. They had Dirk on video in a shootout with him and Von shooting some niggas in front of the Varsity. You know what the Varsity is in Atlanta? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very poppin' area. Yeah. It's like shooting a nigga in front of the Met.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get into that on I was about to say on the Met on Patreon. Live show this Sunday. TRPE6.com. TRPE6.eventbrite.com. Got some final tickets we need sold. We're gonna have some fun, man.
We are.
Patreon tomorrow.
For sure.
Shit
show, as they say.
I got nothing else.
We love y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Everybody out in the new YouTube community, salute to y'all.
Oh, yeah.
We love y'all, man. Umar video still going crazy. Keep running them numbers up. We're trying to get to a half a ticket. We about like 335, 340 right now. We just want to keep pushing that, man. Shout out to anybody that's just now discovering us, discovering the channel, whatever.
Appreciate the 2,500 new followers.
It's just going crazy, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. Keep sharing the content. Keep viewing the content. Keep telling us you love us. Keep telling us you hate us. It all helps with the algorithm, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/@TRPE, or you're going to just search TRPE. It's going to pop right up. That be us. That be me, Chad, Matthew, Big Daniel.
I got nothing else.
We out of here.